Hello and welcome back to Serie, a Spotlight. We're your hosts Jake
and Matt.
You know what time it is!
I can't tell you guys enough how much you've been my internal monologue when thinking about football for the last year.
Yes, amazing! We get to record while drinking some wine. Jake and I will have a very special soft spot for Salernitana.
We love him.
We love him. Stop zooming in on Allegri's face, bro. You're gonna make
How
me
are you
break.
exposing me?
Because you're gonna make me break, man.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Serie A Spotlight. This is episode 189 and we're your host Jake.
And Matt.
Here to run you through all the action of Matchday 3 in Serie A.
And Jesus Christ, do we have a lot to talk about. We'll be starting things off with the very exciting Derby d'Italia. Juve 4, Inter 3. So much to talk about over there. The two Hakan Çalhanoğlu goals, Sommer's performance, the Turam Derby. We'll be getting into all of that very, very soon. Milan 1, Bologna 0. The sole Luka Modric goal that won Allegri's side the game. Allegri is back and he is stripping on the touchline and getting sent off and getting an early shower. Good to see. Fiorentina 1, Napoli 3. Napoli showing that they are still the most dominant team, and if someone's going to want to take that title off them, they are going to need to try very, very hard. Roma 0, Torino 1, as they won both previous games 1-0. Now they've lost 1-0 at home thanks to a Cholito screamer. Atalanta 4, Lecce 1. Atalanta are back and firing. It's like just like under Gasperini. An amazing doppietta by Charles Ketelare, and I was really impressed by Zalewski in this game. Sassuolo 1, Lazio 0. Man, the Roman sides did really struggle against well, I wouldn't call them bottom tier teams, but you know.
But it's perfect because now they play each other at 12:30 on Sunday.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
So they're both going into it with something to make up for.
Exactly. The chip on their shoulders.
Yeah, it was Fadera who got the goal in that one.
Yes, and he let everyone know that he got the goal. He got that minor touch.
The celebration, the whispering in the ear, then the shushing. I'm not sure who's been talking smack about Fadera, but we sure let them know.
A lot of people don't really talk about Fadera overall, but sure. After that, we'll be looking at Hellas 0, Cremonese 0. Perhaps not the result we were expecting after two back-to-back victories by Cremonese, but I was really impressed by some pieces that Hellas have introduced into their team. Como 1, Genoa 1. Another fantastic bloody goal by Nico Paz, but Ramon, who's been gatekeeping recipes from us, got a red card and Genoa instantly capitalized and got a late equalizer there. A good point for Vieira's men. Cagliari 2, Parma 0. I don't think the result does this game too much justice. I thought that Parma looked pretty good, but a seasoned victory by Cagliari, a team that is experienced in Serie A. That is how they got that victory there. And we will end things off with another loss for Pisa and another victory for Udinese. That is Pisa 0, Udinese 1.
Yes, and that game was just mistake after mistake after mistake. It was super, super entertaining, bro. It has to be said. Can't wait to get to that one, to be honest. But it's going to be 2 hours from now that we'll be talking about that one.
Yep.
We've got a lot to go through.
We have a lot to go through, and I am really worried that Juve Inter has a lot of talking points, so we are going to be breaking it down quite a bit.
Yeah.
But we'll try give equal time to each game, which is obviously what we stand for as a show. Don't forget, guys, there's Juve Dortmund on tonight. Depends when you're listening, obviously. There's Ajax against Inter tomorrow, PSG against Atalanta tomorrow, City against Napoli the day after tomorrow. That's going to be juicy. And then Europa and Conference League in the coming weeks. We are recording this on the 16th of September, by the way.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see how these teams fare in Europe and if there are any surprises.
Yeah.
But yes, before we get into the action, of course, we would like to give a special shout out to our media partners, Benevo Bid. I've got their kits over here.
Absolutely. Check out our link in bio, guys, and you can get autographed items from some of the most historic players in football. As you can see, Grosso, Zanetti. That's a signed Grosso 2006 World Cup kit. That's amazing. Zanetti, I'm not too sure what year that kit is from. I wouldn't be surprised if it's
2010.
2010
yeah.
derby winning season.
Winning?
Treble winning season. So check out our link in bio. Most of the proceeds go to charity, guys, so you'll be giving back to a good cause as well. Before we get into anything else, bro, let's do our goal of the week.
Yes,
real quick.
yes, that's an important one. So obviously there were 2 goals.
Two.
There were many goals this week. So there were both of Çalhanoğlu's goals were ridiculous. Yıldız's goal was sensational. Zalewski's goal was very good. Indri's goal was savage. It was just all the frustration from playing for Lecce and just seeing the team getting worse and worse. He just vented it all out in that goal. Cholito Simeone's goal was amazing.
Amazing.
But I think the only fair thing to do here was to take a goal each and to have 2 goals of the week, right?
So I took Nico Pads because I believe as a goal, I thought was the superior one, just the way he pivoted past those 2 defenders, got in between them and then curled the ball into the back of net in classic fashion.
Yeah.
Just a true number 10 goal.
An absolutely brilliant goal.
Yes, but I understand that there were some fucking serious bangers this week.
And of course, Adzic, when you have to look at a goal that just resulted in an amazing moment, that Adzic goal was it, right? It's a last-minute winner from an unlikely player who just had a crack from way out, and the celebration was amazing. You know, one of our followers on Instagram sent us some footage from the stands, and the whole stadium just erupted, right? They weren't expecting that because they had just been losing, and I feel like that game was perfectly summed up by Pieter, who DM'd us. He said, joy followed by pain, then joy, then death and apocalypse, then redemption, followed by euphoria. And that is perfectly summed up, to be honest.
We'll get into why we went through the exact same thing during that game. But
exactly.
we won't be talking about that during the intro. If you guys are new here, make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And please do give us a 5-star rating wherever you're listening, wherever you get your podcast. We have an average of 5 stars on our platforms, which we'd really like to maintain, and we want to get that number up of the amount of ratings that we got. We do weekly episodes covering every single match, every single team, every single week, and we even have a segment called Tactics Imperium, where we have a football analyst who breaks down a game he found interesting for whatever reason.
Gianluca Lia.
Exactly. If you really love us, become a patron. It's $3.99 a month, and you can win a free kit if you win our fantasy league, and you also get added to a massive Discord chat full of like-minded people who just love talking football and love joking around, and sometimes we even send pictures of our pets, so it can be quite wholesome as well.
It really can. And speaking of the fantasy football, of course, first of all, how did you boys do?
I did decently. I think I got... Oh, Nick, give us a scream. Yes. I did decently. I think I got 74 points, but I've dropped down to 16th from 12th, so I think other people did better.
I've got Leao and Tati Castellanos out now. It's not going very well for me. Shout out to the top 5 right now. Inter, your mom in first place. That's David Vavra. Shout out to David. MRN has dropped to 2nd. That's Matt, of course. Well, they're equal on points.
Points.
Yes, equal on points in first. It's super tight. Then 0.5 points behind is David Mastrobattista, of course, from Down Under. How are you, can? Yeah, I said it. SSC Dre's Nuts or Dre's Nuts. Dre's Nuts, I guess Dre's Mertens it's a pun. That's Brandon.
Dre's Nuts.
Yeah, Dre's Nuts. And then Grok Gilmore, that's Robert as well. That is our top 5 as it stands. Shout out to Tanino, Batman, Choco Loco, who's joint tied in 5th with Grok Gilmore.
Yes, Nick, how do you do?
If I had a mic, I would let out a massive gulp right now.
Okay.
I haven't had the time to go through, and plus it's so different to FPL.
It's so different to FPL.
Yeah.
It's over for me, I know, but maybe one day I'll pick it up and I'll be like, okay, let's try improve some areas.
You know what we're gonna do after this episode? We're gonna discuss and we're gonna give you a tangible goal, because it's not over. It's not over till we say it's over.
Exactly.
So we're gonna give you a tangible goal, and if you reach that, we will reward you with something. I think that will be fun.
Yes.
Very good. But
It's
I think
good.
we should get straight into it, because it's gonna be quite a lengthy episode.
It is. Let's get straight into it. The first one's yours, right, bro? You've got
Yes,
I
brother.
think you have
I've
like
got
10
the-
minutes of speaking before I speak.
So I've got the Derby d'Italia. Juve 4, Inter 3. Kivu's first Derby d'Italia, of course. At least as a manager.
It's going to be his first everything.
Yeah, literally. Well, not really. Yeah, the 16 games or whatever with Parma. Juve, of course, were coming into this game on 2 wins this season against Genoa and Parma. Inter had a win against Torino. I think a win is an understatement against Torino. And a loss versus Udinese. Coming into this game, it was also announced that Yildiz won the Player of the Month. And I would say well deserved. Tudor opted for a change in formation. They actually went for a 3-4-1-1 formation, or sorry, a 3-5-1-1 formation. Di Gregorio on goal and the same back line consisting of Lloyd Kelly, Bremer and Gatti. McKennie was on the left, Kalulu on the right, and the midfield three was Kefren Turam, Locatelli and Tion Cope Miners, with Yildiz playing behind Dusan Vlahovic. For Inter, it was the classic 3-5-2 formation, and you might as well be looking at last season's team apart from Akanji. It's Sommer in goal, backline of Akanji, Acerbi and Bastoni, Dumfries on the right, Augusto on the left, midfield three of Barella, Çalhanoğlu and Mkhitaryan, with Thuram and Martinez up front. The notable changes over there is, of course, Akanji starting, it's Augusto starting on the left ahead of Di Marco, and the fact that they opted for Mkhitaryan, Çalhanoğlu and Barella in midfield when Sucic has been so good, but he was only introduced in the 81st minute in this game. So
The first game, to be honest, for Sucic was better than the second one, to be fair. And the opening day, he looked great. Second one, not as good as the first, so I understand kind of why he went for the old guards. And this one, to be honest with you.
Yep, fair enough. So the way in which the game went was in the 14th minute. Lloyd Kelly opened the scoring through a volley after a Bremer cross. So it was Locatelli with a really good cross to the far post. Bremer did really well to bring it back to the middle, and Lloyd Kelly entered the box well and finished well. 15 minutes later, Çalhanoğlu came out of nowhere and just canted the ball into the bottom corner from range with his left foot. Amazing goal by Hakan. 8 minutes later, Yildiz was like, hey, you're going to shoot from distance, Hakan, you bitch, and he shoots from distance as well. And he just, what a strike.
Amazing.
Low, hard curves in the last minute, just out of reach for Sommer. Amazing
That's
goal.
it. The trajectory was straight until the very end when it curved into the
And
corner.
when it curves like that with that amount of power, you're on something. As in, like, no allegations, or as I'm just saying that's absolutely abnormal. So Juve entered halftime with a 2-1 lead. Second half gets underway. 65th minute, Hakan Çalhanoğlu chests the ball from the edge of the area and just rifles it from the edge of the area into the bottom corner. Another bullet, and another time he left Di Gregorio rooted to the spot. An amazing equalizer by Hakan. 76th minute, Marcus Thuram rose highest after a Di Marco corner and gave Inter the lead. Oh my god, it's suddenly 3-2 for Inter. It's just 7 minutes later, his brother scores with a header himself. Kefren Turam with a free header after a Yildiz set piece. And then in the 91st minute, Adzic. We hadn't heard about Adzic in ages. They signed him last season. He was injured. I think he played a total of half an hour last season. Comes onto the pitch. Doesn't take a run-up or anything. Just unleashes a scorcher from around 35 yards out. Sommer gets a hand to it, it's not enough, and the entire stadium goes nuts, and Juve win the Derby d'Italia 4-3. That is another banger of a Derby d'Italia after, of course, last season's 4-4 draw. And this is what I want to say. We have so many things to talk about, but it's always so hard to analyze teams in such a heated and shootout derby, because it's like a boxing match. What's there to say about each team?
I think every weakness and every strength is amplified or exaggerated in a game like this. So you don't get a real idea or a realistic idea as to what each team does well. You get a very exaggerated version of it, right? So, for example, Inter's main weakness was really exploited this game. And to be honest, Juve's weakness was a little bit similar here, right?
Yeah.
It's the fact that there's no structure in the middle.
Hollow.
It's exactly
hollow.
That's it. It's hollow, bro. There's no, like, in transition, Inter find it very difficult to defend. And this is a problem that Simone Inzaghi had at Inter last season as well. And we saw it in the Derby d'Italia last year as well. 3-3, 4-4.
We mentioned it in the last episode,
exactly.
where like you can run down the middle against Inter, and you're pretty much, there's that big gap between the midfield and the defense. Which obviously then there's a question of is that role suited for Çalhanoğlu? Should they bring in someone more defensive minded over there? But I think the main point over here as well is in big games, Inter tend to get into these scraps. You look at the Derby d'Italia last season. You look at the 2 legs against Barca.
It's true.
It's not a
Shootout.
sustainable. It's fucking great. Love watching Inter. I love watching games like this. And one thing I want to say is a massive congratulations to both teams, because they keep producing historic games for us
very
as consumers. So honestly, well done. That is one of the best Serie A games of football I've gotten to watch recently, for sure.
You never heard that one? It's so good.
It's like you have an action figure of Ronaldo and you press the speech button.
I love how he said Juve the entire time he was with Juve. Like the entire time. No one stopped him. No one corrected him. No one dared to correct him.
Yeah, I think the main 3 things, the sign of the cross of this game for the religious folk over here, the Turam Derby, of course, is a key talking point. Hakan's 2 screamers. But where I do want to start off is Sommer. Sommer, who is under a microscope right now. Sommer conceded 2 goals from long range. And perhaps, look, this is what I don't like about the reaction towards Sommer. Was Sommer soft in some goals? Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. But to say he's past it after the same people were so high and mighty about him in that Champions League run, saying he's one of the best goalkeepers in the competition. If it weren't for Donnarumma, oh my God, that save on Lamine Yamal. Everyone in love with Jan Sommer. And then suddenly he concedes 2 scorchers from close range. I think particularly the Adzic one he could have done better with. But I don't think this is the end of Sommer, or Sommer is suddenly a bad goalkeeper.
No, the main issue with Sommer is that his competition happens to be very competent in Josep Martinez. Josep Martinez, of course, formerly at Genoa, is quite a dependable goalkeeper. He has impressed when he played for Inter as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they gave Sommer some time out, basically.
Josep is definitely starting against Ajax. Yeah. Confirmed.
Yeah. Confirmed. Obviously Sommer is not a bad keeper. Is he past it? I mean, probably not, but he will have moments where he's not as sharp, right? He's 36 years old. It's only natural for a keeper to decline, especially when his reach isn't great either, because Sommer was great when he was younger because of his agility, right?
Yeah.
Or at his best, let's say, not when he was younger. Now, he's a bit of a shorter goalkeeper, comparably. So yes, I think that he's not past.
He's one that ages quicker, right? Because of his size.
He's one that yes, and he needs a deputy, right? A dependable deputy who, if he, for example, has a spell where he's not looking quite himself, he can rotate with him. But I wouldn't say this was particularly Sommer's fault. I know the stat looks bad because it's 4 shots, 4 goals conceded, 4 shots on target, right? So it comes across as a terrible goalkeeping performance.
But like Yildiz is goal. I can't fault the goalkeeper over there. I thought it was so well hit by Yildiz. It's right on the inside of the net, next to the post.
And if you're gonna criticize Sommer, then you have to criticize Di Gregorio as well this game. No, because he also conceded long range goals. I think the difference maybe is that Sommer had a clearer view on the shots. Whereas in Di Gregorio's case, he did have many bodies in his way, right?
Çalhanoğlu on the edge of the area, right? Exactly. With those pinpoint bullet strikes.
So Sommer obviously is going to be scapegoated over here. It's always funny, right? How if that, for example, Adzic goal never happened, no one would have even talked about.
Yeah, exactly.
It's these little details change the narrative completely.
It's a game of moments, right? And these people's career is subject to those moments. I think an area where Inter, of course, struggled is, like you said, the center of the pitch. They're really hollow over there, and you can really attack Inter down the center of the pitch.
Yeah.
If you take it wide, you're going to struggle getting a cross and getting a header in. They conceded one like that, but otherwise they really shut up shop well over there. But I don't think Akanji had the greatest debut either. Of course, I sympathize with him because it's his first match. It's a Derby d'Italia where last year it was already a 4-4. And they came out fierce for each other. And I think he lost the header to Kefren Turam. I think there were certain areas where he gave the ball away. I don't think it was the perfect debut for him, but I'm sure he'll get there. This is a terrible game to judge him off. Shall we talk?
Definitely a baptism of fire, are they?
Absolutely. Shall we talk a bit about? I want to make this point about Hakan and his role at Inter.
Sure.
Is he part of the reason why Inter are so hollow in midfield? He got 2 goals. I think Kivu views him as a bit more of an attacking option, which is why obviously probably he got those 2 goals from being in and around the area. He can't be there scoring those goals and be as a holding midfielder at the same time. You know what I mean?
I think that so first of all, in Inter at the moment, they kind of they still look fatigued, man. I don't know what it is, but I know last season they had a very long season and they were competing on 3 fronts and got to the very end of pretty much every competition, even winning the league on the very last match day, losing the league on the very last match day. So yes, they're definitely tired. And the fact that, for example, you look at Kivu's first moves off the bench, he took out Barella and Lautaro. You know, in the 64th minute, 2 of the most important players of Inter of the past few seasons. And I think
they went ahead after that.
They did go, and that's the thing. They improved.
Down.
So I think that this might be a fatigue issue. It might also be an issue that with the players that Kivu found, defending is almost instinctive. It comes natural to them. They have the muscle memory from Inzaghi. But the second he takes them out, Kivu can attack how he wants and it's more fluid. But then suddenly they become more vulnerable defensively. Right? That's what seems to be the case. I think Kivu has to... he needs time to implement his ideas. I wonder if the time will be given to him. And the players need to buy into his ideas and his system.
Yeah.
I think there will be quite some time needed for this transition to actually happen, and I don't know if they will give him the time because the pressure is already mounting.
And this is the thing. We saw Kivu and Inter struggle with the high press against Udinese because they want to play with a high line, they want to play with high press, and they lost that game. And now they went for almost the same approach in the Derby d'Italia with the high line. I don't think they have the defenders for the high line. And they definitely don't have the midfielders. I think they look fatigued. I think they look like players that have been playing so frequently for so long that they don't need a week off. They don't need 2 weeks off. They need a bloody year and a new knee. Like, Mkhitaryan is nearing 37 years of age. He's a horse, but for how long? Barella, he must be the footballer with the most minutes in the past 5 years. Because Barella is always on the pitch for Inter. And Lautaro, the same thing. He plays so frequently.
It's true, and they're both they all represent their national teams, and every major competition they seem to be a part of it, barring the World Cup perhaps for Barca.
Exactly.
But it's definitely a bit of an old team, man, as well. Maybe there are issues with commitment. I don't know if
it's commitment. I think their knees, man. Like
I agree with you. They look tired. They look a little bit slower. Plus, not to mention as well, guys, that right now the games we're seeing are a little bit slow compared to what we're used to. Even for Serie A, you know, they say Serie A is a slower league, whatever. It's still very hot, man. It's boiling, right?
Of course.
And I mean, we're talking 30 degrees and humid. It's terrible. You can't even breathe when you're after a sprint, like in these conditions, you know. So that definitely affects the gameplay. There will be moments, for example, where both teams seem to be having a breather with the ball in play. You know, we see that a lot. And now, the planning of Serie A, this is a bit of a side note, it's a bit of a tangent, but why is the Derby della Capitale happening at 12:30 on a Sunday, like peak heat, you know?
I'm sure
And it's
there's,
gonna be hotter
I'm sure there's a
next
reason,
weekend.
but I don't think it's good enough
Yeah.
because that is an 8:30 Sunday
and
night.
people are going to tune into that
main
game
event.
internationally, and they're going to think, oh, lala, how slow Serie A is.
Mm.
Why is Serie A so? Because it's 34 degrees
Jeez
at
Louise,
12:30 on
man.
a Sunday.
Because
Yeah.
Wesley is doing 14K
Exactly.
in the scorching heat,
In a
dog.
sauna.
That's why.
Yeah. But that's a good point, bro. One of the main problems of Inter is playing this high line with an aging squad and without really anyone to marshal that defense. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons like he brought in Carlos Augusto, because Carlos Augusto
Yeah.
is a bit more sound defensively than DeMarco to try combat that, but
Yeah.
it wasn't enough. Just a few more points. Can we please talk about this Turam derby? So
Uh-huh.
from our perspective, what I was seeing from this Turam derby was two brothers that clearly have a close relationship. They go to each other's games with their father.
Mm-hmm.
They have a super competitive spirit. On the game, they were arguing, they were shoving each other, they were pushing. I fucking loved that battle. And then the big brother scores and then the little brother scores. They do the same celebration. I'm the King Turam. No, I'm the King Turam. It's amazing. Until the 92nd minute, where I feel like I look at Marcus Thuram, and I know he's being shat on a bit too much for... Fuck
Uh-huh.
it, maybe not too much, because it is. You should, Marcus Thuram, you should really care in that moment to the point where it is detrimental. Is it a goal or is it not? Are you going to draw or are you going to lose? Are you going to be 6 points behind Juve already? Or are you just going to be 4 points behind Juve?
Yeah.
It's a huge moment in the
You're
derby.
talking about the late winner, right? When the Thuram brothers were caught smiling and laughing together. Nick, I think we have a photo, right? It's nice, sick. Look at that, what a beast. Yeah, you can see the photo behind us. It's the 93rd minute almost. The goal has just happened, and you can see the Thuram brothers enjoying a laugh, an exchange. Now, obviously, from the human perspective, this is fine, right? They're two brothers. They both worked very hard this game. They both got on the score sheet. They had a moment together. It's not the end of the world. But when you sit down and you pick up a book called The Room and you open up the book and you start reading, you'll notice that the 80,000, not 80,000 actually, this was in Juve Stadium, the 40,000 fans who are present. Well, no, actually, that's not worded well. The few thousands who are at the stadium and the many thousands, the millions who are watching from the comfort of their own homes are seeing you smiling and laughing when they are fuming.
Yeah.
You know, they're fucked. Their week is ruined. They have to wait till next weekend for Inter to do something, for their mood to change. You know, the fandom is crazy. It's a cult, essentially. That's what they need to understand. And there are certain things that don't happen. It's about respect and culture.
No, we said the same thing about Leao. He was
Yeah.
caught smiling sarcastically once. He was taken off and Milan conceded. We were like, what the fuck is he? Who does he think he is?
I was totally pissed off when Leao, after Milan were humiliatingly eliminated from the Champions League, he pulls his shorts down to show off his underwear brand and he's lifting his up and he's clearly modeling his underwear after a bullshit elimination from the Champions League. No,
exactly. So there's a time and place. Chat with him on WhatsApp after, man. It's fine. Go have a drink.
Just because you cover your mouth with your t-shirt, you know, your eyes are smiling, bro. We can see you. We can see you, bro.
And
in fact, Daniel, our patron, he's an Inter fan. He was extremely pissed off about Thuram. I was like, I want him out.
Jeez Louise.
I'm sure it was in the moment. I'm not sure if he still has this belief. I'm curious to hear, but
no, it's inappropriate for sure. What did you make of Marcus not celebrating his goal? That put them, I believe, that goal put them ahead. Yes, that goal put them ahead, bro. Like, all right, your dad plays for the team. Your dad played for the team. He's a legend there. Your brother currently plays for the team. Who cares, man?
Yeah.
Who cares? Your job is there with that team. Now, does it mean because it's his job he should fucking showcase loads of passion after he scores a goal? No, as long as he scores the goal professionally, it's okay. But do you want your fans to see you wearing your heart on your sleeve and being emotionally vulnerable and celebrating a potentially victorious goal in a heated rivalry? Or do you want your dad not to hit you when you get home?
Yeah.
It's stupid. I think, like you said, there's a time and place.
Yeah, I don't understand his demeanor, his body language. Thuram, he always Marcus Thuram, he always looks a little bit indifferent.
Yeah,
Even like scoring that goal, it should have been a
unserious
moment.
also, really unserious, always fucking
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
But nice to see.
Did you know that this goal, so this game made history, right? Because two brothers scored against each other.
Yeah,
Do you remember the last time two brothers scored against each other in Serie A?
Melita under 13 against Melita under 11. Jake Fenech and Matthew Fenech.
I wish I ever scored for Melita. Never in my life, I think, that I scored. So, Benevento against Napoli, 2020. The Insigne brothers scored
Fuck
against each other.
yes.
Roberto Insigne and Lorenzo Insigne. And you know who scored the winner that game?
How am I supposed to? What year was it?
2020.
2020.
For Napoli.
Winner for Napoli.
We met him
We met the guy
We've
that
met
scored
him.
the winner for
Uh-huh.
Napoli.
in 2020 against Benevento.
How did we meet this guy, bro? When? What, man?
Petania.
Petania! No way. Jeez Louise, he's had a career. Huh? Of
Yeah.
course. Was that when he came on and had that moment of you staying?
No. Because this was in the 67th minute. That
Oh,
your
okay,
staying
okay,
moment
okay.
was a late winner, and
Mm.
Spalletti was like,
Yes.
Yeah, you're not going
yes,
anywhere.
Yes. Surprisingly, I think that is the derby for you. I think we've hit all the talking points. Standout performance, of course. Sorry, I can't move on without giving this guy his flowers. Kenan Yildiz. Kenan
Yeah.
Yildiz. This guy will be, I think we're blessed right now with talents like Yildiz and Nico Paz.
Mhm.
In Serie A, two super young guys, two essentially number 10s. That is a dying breed. Both very marketable, both incredibly talented. These guys are gonna go. Put if we had a sound bite for Harry Redknapp, right to the very top,
Right to the very top.
young Scotty Cannon.
Yeah. We don't have anything remotely close to that. But
No.
yes, they are very, very good, both of them. Nico Paz is just leveling up every single season, and Yildiz, man.
Jeez,
Like,
man.
he
Jeez.
really wears that shirt with pride.
He
And
does,
you can tell.
man. He does.
And it started, like, it stems from the little details as well. Even when Allegri was there and he had brought him on, and he said he spent the entire game fixing his hair. And the
Chopped
next
it
day,
off.
he cut his hair. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's so serious. He celebrates like Del Piero. He has really embodied the Juventus spirit.
Mhm.
And this is kind of like the opposite of what we've been saying about Thuram, right?
Yeah.
Who seems
Exactly.
indifferent. Exactly.
Those are the two
These things,
extremes.
exactly.
Like, so sorry, you mentioned wearing the shirt with pride, wearing his heart on his sleeve, etc., etc. That is the biggest, I think, difference I feel from Juve this season to Juve last season. Juve were a fucking team in this game, and I have to drill that point home. And Tudor, it really seemed like he's altered his style for this game. He didn't really go man for man like he typically does, which is obviously noteworthy. And I like that this little Isma, like Yildiz scored from outside the box. Shoot.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Have a grach.
Summer isn't 100%. Shoot.
Exactly.
And they were having grachs.
No, I think that Juve are very street smart, and this was literally I'm not even sure if I'd call it a street smart performance when you concede 3 goals, but they are adaptable. They adapt to what's happening in their game, you know. And I thought that was a very mature performance by them, and very level-headed to come out and to get something out of this game. And everyone stepped up, and even the season, the team's looking better. Bremer's looking like he's at his best this game. He got 2
assists.
Two assists.
Lloyd Kelly
has
with a
been
goal.
solid this season as
He
well
really
so
has
far.
been.
And this game, he even scored. He got a goal for himself, you know. The only one who kind of hasn't really got a grip yet is Coop Miners.
Coop Miners. I think Coop Miners struggled with the pace of the game in this game. I thought that earlier this season when he played a bit deeper, he looked solid.
Yeah.
But still needs to be better, man.
Yeah.
Needs to be better, Coop Miners. It's his
Absolutely.
second season now.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Hey,
could
if it
be-
means he's up for a good price. I know a
He-
team
he
that
might-
could use him.
He might be worth a punt. Absolutely.
Next
what a game
up,
that was. That was
amazing.
extremely,
Like,
extremely entertaining.
I, as a fan of a team
Our
in
bet.
Serie A,
Yeah.
I hate giving flowers to these teams, and I hate over congratulating them
Mhm.
for a game like that. But I really have to say, wow, man! Like,
Yeah.
thank you so much, guys, because Saturday was fucking lit,
It
man.
was crazy.
Because of this game,
Yeah.
the bet,
exactly, yes.
the bet.
So we placed a bet. So we had previously bet that Cagliari would beat Parma, which they did, and we used those winnings to place a €30 bet on the Derby d'Italia. Our bet was Juve or draw, double chance, with most goals coming in the second half.
We
and
thought, like,
€30 would return €100.
yes, the rationale was that in a derby, things might start a bit cagey, showing each other a lot of respect. If a goal happens at the start of the second half or somewhere along that, or whatever, it's more likely that there'll be more goals in the second
Yeah.
half with substitutes, tired legs, whatever.
Exactly. And when we saw that there were 3 goals in the first half, when we were watching and we were seeing like Lloyd Kelly scored early, we're like, oh my god. And then,
Like,
and then-
you know, the game's gonna be fucked up when Lloyd Kelly scores in the 13th
and
minute.
that's what Matthew said. He was like, we're in for one, bro. Kelly scored in the 14th minute. Like, he opened the scoring in this heated derby. So 3 goals in the first half. We're like, we've lost this bet. Fuck it, let's just leave it. We're not gonna cash out for €2. We'll leave it and whatever. You can imagine our reaction to Wadzuch's goal. We became
Holy
Juventini.
fuck, man. Holy fuck.
Only because
Just running around the island.
Exactly,
with my
going-
hands- Nick, how long did we spend on this game?
Yeah.
You're like 30 minutes.
Okay, but that's
It deserves it.
It does.
On to Milan.
Wadzuch's celebration, no? Pointing at his temple.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
Congrats,
What are you gonna do with your
dudes.
€100, bro?
Me? Bet them on something else. Champions League
Yeah, I need
tonight.
to sit down and plan how I'm gonna lose them. So the next game we're gonna be covering is a team looking at itself in the mirror. It's Milan Bologna.
If you know, you know.
You know, the
Uh-huh.
badges are literally reversed. Yes, it was an opportunity for revenge for Milan after last season's Coppa Italia final. And oh, how sweet was this revenge. So missing in this game, of course, Leao is still unavailable. And apparently, he will also be unavailable for the Udinese game and will be back for
Not
Napoli.
what I heard.
I heard he will be back for Napoli. Yeah.
Christ on a bake. I heard he'll be fine for Udinese. Well, I guess.
But this
you'll know
was
soon.
it had originally been reported, but it's
Mm.
been changed since the reporting on this Leao injury has been weird.
Hey.
Yashari, of course, is still in hospital after Jimenez clarted him. Holm, Immobile, Sulemana, Casale and Pobega were all out for Bologna, who have a bit of a mini injury crisis as well, with Bernardeschi just coming back from injury as well. They haven't really picked up they haven't been able to find their rhythm, of
Their
course.
starting 11 though still quite strong. I
Yes.
would say.
So for Milan, it was a 3-4-2-1 system with Manjan in goal, Tomori, Gabian, Pavlovic at the back with Salamakers and Thupinian on the wings, Fofana and Modric in the middle with Loftus-Cheek and Rabiot playing behind Jimenez.
Or as
So-
we were calling him when he got a yellow card in the 10th minute, a stupid idiot.
A stupid idiot, yeah. Bologna, it was a 4-3-3. Of course, it's Italiano. Skorupski was in goal, Dikogiannis on the left, Zorte on the right with Lukumi and as the centre backs. His name is Hegem, but Matt and I call him yeah. Freuler, Ferguson and Fabian were in the middle with Orsolini and Cambiaghi flanking Castro. So, yes, Milan started aggressively. They created early chances through Rabiot, through Estupinian and through Jimenez. Bologna gradually grew into the game, but Milan's defense kept them at bay, I would say. At halftime, Pavlovic was replaced by De Winter because he suffered an injury, and Manjan was forced off with a calf injury, which saw Terracciano making his debut in goal, and Manjan has since been seen in crutches. And now we're into this game. Modric broke the deadlock after a move involving Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Salamakers. This was a few days after his 40th birthday. And brother,
birthday, boy.
I have never seen a 40-year-old move like that. Huh?
Oh, man.
And we have seen many an elderly man play for Milan, and none of them are as nimble as Modric.
No. He's too light on his feet.
His
for a
bursts of
40-year-old.
pace,
Like Zlatan was mental when he came back,
but nothing. Like, he
you
couldn't
could
move like that.
you could tell. Listen, don't play the long ball to
Yeah.
Zlatan. Play it directly at him. You can't expect this. You can't expect that. But Luka Modric, the way he was getting himself, like there was a point, when Rabiot had that sick run, and then his pass wasn't perfect. It was ahead of Modric. A defender was coming along. Modric puts himself between the defender and the ball, and he bodies the defender and plays the ball through to whoever was, I think, Estupinian was running through. But like strong, light. It doesn't look 40 in the slightest.
At all.
In the slightest.
He really doesn't. And he dictated the game beautifully, the tempo, and I feel like Milan have really found a balance, but we'll get into it all. So late chances fell to Pulisic and Jimenez, and the controversial denied penalty led to Allegri being sent off in anger after VAR overturned a spot kick, a penalty kick that the referee had given originally. Now there were many moments. Anyway, Milan won 1-0 after they actually held on, yes, but that moment was quite defining, bro. It was when you look at the Coppa Italia final, I don't know if you remember, but the whole Gabbia situation, the controversy around that, it always seems like things go against Milan in these games, not to be that guy, but if you've seen, normally I don't like to say these things that sound very biased, I try to avoid it, but that situation was just ridiculous. Even the fact that the referee ran to the monitor and they showed him the foul after Nkunku had got up, So Nkunku was dropped by Lukumi. He got up and then he was dropped again. They showed the referee the second time he was dropped, not the first one.
And there was contact twice. There was still
there was
contact in the
exactly.
second time.
They were both penalties, in my opinion, first of all. But the referee waved it off. And the Lukumi one, he totally clatters the man before he doesn't even touch the ball.
In fact, bro, I'm not sure if it's the referee, Marcenaro, or the VAR officials that have been sidelined for 2 weeks. So action has been taken because it is the wrong call. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Milan are the only ones that face this adversity or whatever.
We cover
because
this league every week.
if we're to sit down with any of you fans of whoever you are, you could mention 10 times this happened to your team in the past 2 years, I'm sure. Just sometimes I do see this to me was incredibly blatant. Incredibly blatant.
Absolutely. Bro, I was so happy with this Milan performance. I didn't even mention that Estupinian Ricci hit the post. Santiago Jimenez hit the post twice. We'll talk about him very soon.
Yeah.
But I think that this performance sums up everything you come to expect from Allegri, right? You don't overload the opposition. You don't play flashy football. But during a game, you feel safe.
Absolutely.
I don't think Bologna threatened at any point this game.
I was so chill, man.
And it's not like Milan didn't create much or struggle to create any chances, because at the end of the day, they hit the post so many times and people did look dangerous, and often Jimenez was put on a plate.
Jimenez missed two sitters.
Exactly.
Milan had a penalty. Milan hit the post twice. And Bologna, and Milan scored, of course. And Bologna, to me, never... Milan shut down Bologna. Bologna were not allowed to play their game, and they didn't play their game. There's no player I could look at of Bologna and say, oh, but I guess he was good, he had some good moves, whatever. They're completely shut down. Clean 1-0 Allegri victory, could have been 3.
Yeah, it's true. Exactly, spot on, bro. I think that... So Rabiot, De Winter, and Terracciano all ended up making their debuts.
Yes.
And none of them stood out to be shaky or nervous. Rabiot came on with he started the game with this authority about him. With this
Grinta. He's so he has such huge balls and like.
They call him the crazy horse in Italy.
The way he carried the ball forward, like of course we've said this before. Che cavallo, he's a horse. He's a horse, Rabiot. But the way he took the ball past those two players when running full speed, it's crazy how he had just had 2-3 training sessions and this was his first game. And he played 90 minutes because he looked like he was one of the first names on the team sheet, and he should start most games. I
Yeah.
think he had a fantastic game for his first game.
Absolutely. The winter had to come on to make his debut in the second half because Pavlovic picked up a knock and he slotted right in without any hassle.
He scared me at a point.
At a point, he held on for way
Held
too
on
long.
to the ball.
And he won the foul eventually.
He showed complete indecisiveness. He was going to play the ball back to Terracciano.
Yeah.
He took way too long to make a decision. And you could see Castro and I believe it was Fabian both sprinting to anticipate the pass back to Terracciano, but he ended up winning the foul. But that was a shaky moment. Could also be because he typically plays right-sided. Allegri popped him in on the left side.
Could be. So, that's what you get with Allegri, because Milan's defense, as shaky as it has always been a talented defense.
Yeah.
You look at Tomori, he was part of the back line that barely I think it was 1 goal in 9 games or something.
Something like that.
Something like that. When Milan won the Scudetto, he was a pivotal part of that, and he was amazing. Gabbia,
he was a fucking beast.
He
in
was
this
a beast.
game, Tomori.
Tomori
was
exactly.
a monster.
Gabbia is talented as well. He came up from Milan's youth rankings, and Pavlovic, of course, was bought because Milan saw some upside to him, right? These are all defenders with high potential, and the problem was that they never got the correct coaching. And now with Allegri there, if he's not going to get the best out of them, he's not going to turn these guys into good defenders, and they don't have it.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can get Tomori operating like this consistently. He can turn Pavlovic into the beast that that we all want him to be.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, that's the good thing about Milan this season, and we were begging for it last season. That finally, Milan have a good coach, man.
For sure. And I'm gonna say it as well. One competition, sure, but the depth on this team is great, The depth is fantastic. Jake, when you look at the fact that De Winter came on, De Winter, sure. Ricci, Pulisic, Nkunku all came on.
Yes, no. The depth is okay, especially if you're playing once a week. It's fine.
Quality-wise, it's quite high,
Yes,
I would say.
I think there are, like we've been discussing, there are 2 gaps, right?
Yes.
So if you, for example, let's say Santi's having an absolute nightmare and you really need a goal and you're against a low block side, so you'd like a target man. There isn't another one. Let's say Estupinian gets injured, which he has in the past. Then you have to rely on Bartezag, and we're not sure how he'll acclimatize to this environment.
But
right?
I am confident that Allegri can swap around systems to accommodate that. I'm not saying that you're right. I jumped the gun a bit by saying very good depth, but the attacking options off the bench, like Pulisic and Nkunku on the bench is great.
And this is with Leao out.
And this is with Leao out, and there's Jimenez, and there's Loftus-Cheek and Rabiot who play a bit more offensive. Also, I wanted to make a point on Ricci.
Yes,
Ricci,
he's my next point.
Who came on, he hit the post. He won the ball high up the pitch, created a few chances. Had another crack at goal that was blocked. I think that was after he won the ball high up the pitch. He had a dribble at a point that was amazing.
Yeah.
He looked light on his feet. His passes were accurate. He was adventurous. He was carrying the ball forward. And I think I'm onto something. And I think I told you this last week, where Allegri made a comment that we found quite funny. He said...
I have it here. So he said, Ricci, I'm very happy with Samuele because he has improved a lot since he arrived. He's changing physically as well in terms of his legs. Now he has the frame of an important player. He's going through a growth process both physically and tactically. Samuele is growing very well. I love that he completely disregards that this guy has been starting in Serie A for the past 3
he's
seasons.
speaking about him like he's a
youth player.
16-year-old frail boy, like he's Camarda or something. But I think I'm onto something. I think I know why he said that, because when Milan were looking for a regista, when Milan were looking for a number 6, Allegri came in and supposedly said, no, don't get Ricci. He's not the profile I want. Because Allegri wanted a number 6. To us, Ricci is a number 6.
Yeah.
We've seen him play in a number 8 before, but I think Allegri must view him as an 8 and not as a 6, which is a role that would demand a lot more physically from a player. You need to be stronger, you need to build up some more mass to be a box-to-box player. And I think that's what he means. I think he wants to play Ricci
as
instead
a
of Fofana, as
Yes.
a mezzala. And that would be, to be honest, perfect because I saw him carrying the ball forward, winning the ball high up the pitch, having khrassad goal.
Yeah.
And I think that would be perfect if we could get to a stage where Ricci can start ahead of Fofana, especially with Yashari still out. It would be amazing.
Absolutely. Ricci, just to completely drill the point home that he isn't some youth player who is growing now, has been playing in Serie A/Serie B since 2019 with Empoli. He started. He made 83 appearances for Empoli, even got 3 goals for them. Then he went out to Torino on loan where he made 12 appearances, signed with them perfectly, made another 94 appearances, and now he's made 2 for Milan. So that's what, almost 200. That's 200 games, literally. And yeah.
20-something-year-old. How old is he? 23, 24?
He's 24. Yeah.
24. Go on, son.
Yep, absolutely. Very happy to see that he's growing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So another point to mention, bro, is Santiago Jimenez, who missed 2 sitters and completely infuriated the fan base, but worked so much that he still got a standing ovation from some supporters in the stadium when he was substituted, because he pressed tirelessly
like an animal, bro.
all game.
Like an animal.
Yeah. And even as he was leaving the pitch, Allegri said, bravo, bravo, like you worked for the team.
Mm-hmm. No, I think off the ball, he was a 10 on 10, Santi. Attitude-wise, 10 on 10. When he's put clean through and he has time and it's not instinctive, you could see his mind work. And you could see his mind work.
And you could see the goaler psychologically best him every time.
Yeah. He's low on confidence.
He is, and it's so clear to see. And I think he's handling it quite well, to be honest, because what Santiago Jimenez has gone through since joining Milan is nothing short of traumatic. Like, he definitely should speak to someone about it, because he was bought for a large amount that already puts the pressure on him. He had a change in coach. The management were trying to sell him, trying their absolute best until the deadline day to sell him. They publicly spoke about it, and it was totally open.
Tare.
So that's that feeling, of like, listen, you spent so much money on me, but you clearly don't want me. It must be a very conflicting feeling. So the worst thing that can happen to him is the fans turning against him. But how do you win over the fans if you're low on confidence and you can't score the sitters? You run your ass off. And this is the thing. Cutrone came on for Milan, and before he scored a single goal on Cutrone's debut, he won the fans' hearts. Why? Because he pressed tirelessly, and everyone was cheering him on as he pressed. I never saw that. I'd never seen that before.
Because he's a Milan fan,
Yeah.
and Santi is a Milan fan. He was very vocal about it,
Exactly.
and this is something I like about the current team as well. There are Milan fans. Ricci, apparently, Milan fan. Yashari, when we'll see him back, that's crazy how I haven't seen Yashari, how this squad needs to see how to fit in Ricci and Yashari now.
So yes, but Jimenez, I think that in the movements that he does, and even like he takes the ball to an incredibly tight angle and he still hits the post, the technique is there. He just needs to believe in himself. He needs to be calmer in these situations.
Yeah.
You know, you could tell that he wanted to round the keeper with his first touch. The keeper didn't move and he panicked. And he tried to round him again when he should have just shot.
Yeah, it was the wrong decision to start with.
Absolutely. But that was it, bro. Bologna, I think, will require more time to get this group of players together and to recover from some injuries. But yeah, I think Milan
it's just the
deserved.
case that they were shut down. I think Allegri beat Italiano.
Absolutely.
I think the squad knows each other pretty well, and I think they'll be disappointed with their performance. But Milan were formidable, and they didn't put a foot wrong in this game. I'm very pleased with that.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Salamakers, who is so tireless, man. He's always on his toes, even at the end of the game.
Speaking of Milan fans that play for Milan.
Absolutely. I love Salamakers.
Next up, we have Fiorentina 1, Napoli 3. Fiorentina, before this game, had just 2 draws, one against Cagliari and one against Torino. Napoli, 2 wins, one against Sassuolo and one against Cagliari. Fiorentina lined up in their 3-5-2 formation with David De Gea in goal, a backline of Ranieri, Pongracic and Comuzzo. Gosens on the left, Dodo on the right, and a midfield 3 of Som, Fagioli and Mandragora, with Dzeko and Keane starting up front together. For Conte's men, it was a 4-1-4-1 formation. Vanya in goal as Meret picked up a minor injury. Backline of Di Lorenzo, Beukema, Bongiorno and Spinazzola. Lobotka as a regista. Politano on the right, McTominay on the left and drifting in. De Bruyne and Anguissa playing behind debutant Højlund. I forgot his first name.
Rasmus.
Rasmus.
Like some kind of
Rasmus.
Egyptian god or something.
Yeah, you could see Nick just nodding there, just saying Rasmus Højlund and Scott
Nick,
McTominay.
do you know that? I'm sure you also heard how Onana played in Turkey, right?
He got also game of the
Yeah.
player of the game, player of the match.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Mhm.
The consistency with which players are leaving United
Bro,
and thriving.
Anthony, Onana, McTominay, Højlund.
Yeah,
It's not a joke.
It's not a
Varane's
joke.
the only one because he left and
yeah.
got
but he-
retired because he got
exactly.
injured.
Solution here is I need to find a new club.
I think
Napoli.
so.
Napoli.
Yeah.
Mental health. It's good. Napoli's weekly Manchester United too. Like
Yeah.
As a
basically at this point.
Milan are Chelsea and Napoli are United.
Exactly.
but
And
yes.
United are just Serie A scams.
Mhm.
Yes, Atalanta
Exactly.
scam after
Ahmad,
Ahmad,
Bruno,
Dorgu, they've got
Dorgu,
Bruno
Zirkzee.
Fernandes, exactly. Yeah, so many of them.
Dalot. Well,
Dalot was-
No more United talk, please. No more.
Oogie.
No more.
no problem.
in the sixth. So firstly, Napoli. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow in this game. Brilliant
How
press,
dominant, eh?
brilliant off. Well, just dominant. There's just large cock performance. Let's be honest. 6th minute, Anguissa gets absolutely clarted by Comuzzo. Disappointed by Comuzzo to be lunging in like that. Comuzzo who started off so well last season and since then has made a few errors. Not sure if he's been playing in and out of a 3 at the back, 2 at the back, and I feel like he's been struggling.
He's only 20 years old. Komutsu, of course, it's important to mention.
absolutely.
Of course, he still has a lot of developing to do. And if Richie's still growing at 24, then imagine how big Komutsu is going to be by the time he's 24, right?
But De
Allegri.
Bruyne's cock was still growing as he stepped up to take the penalty, and he absolutely destroyed the goalkeeper, sent him the wrong way, straight into the bottom corner. That is a seasoned player's penalty. 14th minute, then Spinazzola slipped a clever ball through to Rasmus Højlund, who muscled off Pongracic.
Yeah.
He showed, man, great strength, great pace, and great finishing. Just fit like a glove. And I think any team could use... I'm joking around with Nick for those not seeing my face. But no, great...
Real.
Great goal by Højlund. Great goal.
Yeah.
A good showcase of the kind of striker that he is.
Exactly.
Muscles, gets him behind, and he finished well there.
Now, Conte, when everyone's fully fit, he's got 3 striking profiles that he can totally adapt depending on the situation. We've seen that Conte has become a manager that likes to tweak things, and he's almost become innovative with the way that he deploys 4 central midfielders all at the same time, and the way he's implemented De Bruyne, etc., etc. So I'm curious to see how, depending on the matchup and when balancing and juggling all these competitions, how he's going to use Højlund, how he's going to use Lukaku, and how he's going to use Luka.
I think we know that Højlund can play at 2 up top. We've seen him do that for Atalanta. And to be honest, I think he might be even stronger like that, having Lukaku near him, for example. That'd be nice. Yeah. And we saw Conte do that with Raspadori and Lukaku last year.
And I think Luka would do better as well with someone next to him. Someone can play
Yes,
off
I agree. Just to finish off the play-by-play, 51st minute from a corner, Anguissa recycled the ball and squared it to Beukema, who tapped in for his first Napoli goal on his 90-minute debut. In the 79th minute, Ranieri pulled one back with a low strike at the far post after a corner scramble. Took that really well. And I have to say, despite Napoli being so dominant throughout the game, I do feel like they took their foot off the gas in the last 15 minutes. And you could see Conte worked up about that. After Ranieri's goal, I believe it was Piccoli who missed a huge chance. And Fiorentina had opportunities to get back into the game, which Napoli and Conte would hate.
Yes. I mean, naturally, right? After a whole game virtually doing nothing, they needed to try to make up for it. But I love this meme. I don't know if you saw it. It's like purely on the sideline while Napoli score their 3rd goal, and it's just
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. It's just Joe Biden smiling, having no idea what's going on.
Everyone around him singing, and he's just there with a smile in a world of his own, man.
Completely, man.
But that's it. Pioli is a man that we love and admire. Pioli is a man that won the Scudetto with Milan, and he wants to show people that he could do that elsewhere. He got pissed off when Allegri didn't mention Fiorentina as a top 4 team. It's still early days. Unfortunately, however, the things that used to piss me off about Pioli at Milan towards the end of his tenure, which are his in-game management and lack of plan B, really showed over here. Because you look at the substitutions that were made as well, they're all man-for-man changes, you know. Dzeko out, Piccoli in. Fucking Fagioli out, Caviglia in. Som out, Fazzini in.
It's like for like almost.
Comuzzo, Lamptey, Pongracic, Viti. It's like, is there not something up your sleeve, something more offensive, something more direct? Is there not a change in formation you can pull out or something? It just didn't seem like he had a tight grasp on his team in a game like this, because it really ran away from them quick, man.
It's true. And I think Conte, with the way he set up his team, like he had Politano wide right, Spinazzola high left.
Yeah.
It's totally neutralized Dodo. Dodo did nothing. And in fact, Fiorentina were forced...
Towards the end, Dodo was good attacking.
Yeah, but that's emotional.
Yeah.
They were forced to build from the left. In fact, 41% of the play went through Gosens, which is crazy. Keane was totally isolated. And Fiorentina ended up taking 19 shots, but only 3 of them were on target.
Yeah.
And their XG by the end of it, for those who care, was 1.68, and Napoli's was 3.18, just to show the quality versus quantity aspect of that. And in fact, Fiorentina's goal at the end came from a set piece as well, no?
Fiorentina's goal at the end came from a
Ranieri,
set piece. Yes, exactly. It split from a corner and Ranieri volleyed it in, essentially.
I think Buongiorno's return is a very important thing for Napoli, because it allows them to play an even higher defensive line. Because his recovery speed is very good.
That, and also just looking at the players that didn't feature and thinking of the fact that they're playing 3 competitions. They have Man City in 2 days and then more Serie A on the weekend. Man, like, they honestly have Neres and Lang and Lucca
completely fresh.
Completely just fresh.
Yeah.
Just frothing to play. And they're Neres and Lang are top players, man. Neres was supposedly the Gvara replacement. Yeah. Lang, this is his big step in his career. He's been after a big step. Clubs in Italy have wanted him for ages.
Yeah.
He's a top player. And Conte worked his magic with ADL, and he has a great set of players. Of course, it doesn't end there. What he is doing with this midfield 4 is huge, with Lobotka, Anguissa, De Bruyne and McTominay all playing together. He commented about it as well. He said that, how did he say it? He said everyone thought that I had to drop someone in a championship winning midfield. He's like, but I saw a piece that could complement that championship winning midfield, and just the way that he's seeing the game is very special. So instead of Spinazzola left midfield, he's got Spinazzola left back, and he's got McTominay on the left.
In theory,
yeah.
The whole system is fascinating, to be honest. Very good. They by far look like the strongest team so far in the opening three games. And Napoli, they play with a certain authority about them. I know it's still early and everything can change and whatever, but if we had to base everything off of what we've seen so far, they play like the defending champions.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a fear of mine that they're gonna run away with it.
Yeah.
If I had to guess right now, I'd say they're gonna run away with it 100%. But Juve also look good.
Juve, and then exactly Juve are, they also have this authority about them. They looked a bit vulnerable against Inter, but then the mentality is just massive. To turn that into a victory.
Napoli didn't have the greatest performance against Cagliari either, but the whole thing is that you get the win, right? And that's how you win championships. And blah, 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 blah.
It's going to be an amazing season. And the coaches on display are just are just Conte. I have Allegri, I have Tudor doing what he's doing at Juve as well. It's all exciting. Inter with the whole Kivu question mark.
Yeah. Not to again mention this. It's not because Nick is in the room or whatever, but Højlund fits like a glove.
Yeah.
Because exactly what they're after. So they like the Lukaku type of striker. So it is a target man who's strong with his back towards goal, muscular, physically imposing, and whatever. That is the kind of mold they look for. Luka, even though he's very tall, he's not essentially the strongest, and his hold-up play needs improvement. He's more of a target man in the box to put away chances. You give him a chance in the box, he's very likely to score it. Rasmus, and then he has the industry, he has the strength, he has the speed, which just not only can he kind of replicate what Lukaku does with hold-up play, not to Lukaku's ridiculously strong degree, but an element of it and more from the runs he makes off the ball, charging into the box. And when you have someone like De Bruyne playing the passes and McTominay playing the passes and Anguissa, he's in the right place. And I think we'll see a lot more. I think he benches Luka. I think Luka's on the bench. And then when Lukaku comes back, we'll see.
To be honest, because if he wants a profile more similar to Lukaku, that's Luka, right? I mean, Luka's hold-up play is...
I think Højlund is more similar to Lukaku than Luka is,
I don't know. I don't know.
With the hold-up play, I think so.
I don't think so at all. I think he play Luka the ball with his back against goal. He can shield it very well, and he's very difficult to dispossess. Whereas Højlund is almost like Lukaku of Inter.
Yes,
I
exactly.
mean, like how he would turn and run, like that type of that Lukaku, not
but
the
still,
Lukaku we've
still
seen.
a good hold-up play, strong, bro.
Yeah.
The way he shields defenders off the ball. Honestly,
It's true.
Like I think he fits that role that Conte wants as an attacker more than Luka does, and obviously, right, because he was playing Luka, and the second Højlund arrives, he's ready.
Yeah.
Bring him on.
Yeah.
He's exactly
Yeah.
what I need. So a real coup for Napoli.
Absolutely.
And I want to say, pardon that I don't have a mic, and you guys can't hear me super well, but like it's super impressive to see a low confidence Rasmus Højlund step into the best team in Italy and just look like he's the best player on the pitch, one of the best players on the pitch. And I think I have to hand it to like Napoli for that. I mean, it's nothing we see at fucking United, obviously. And I'll give it to them, they're the best team in Italy, basically based on last year. But it's incredible how good he's slotted into that.
I don't know how Napoli have been doing it, because they did with McTominay as well. Like
They have a good coach, man. That's
Great
it. They have a very good coach. You look at United's coach. He's won. What was the stat that everyone's talking? 8-31. 8-32, something like that. Yeah, that's not great. I mean, granted, he has good ideas and he excites you in interviews, but then on the pitch, you look at the teams that United are beating. They're all newly promoted, or they're all relegated sides. Like it's quite bad, the situation, man.
Conte, come to United.
No, honestly, that'll save you. I swear to God.
You also need to be sold.
But I think, to be honest, in a nutshell, that is the game.
Yeah.
I think Napoli, again, super dominant display. I think Fiorentina were a bit too passive in the midfield, especially early on. Keane was isolated, as you said. Keane still, I don't think he's going to have a flop season. He's been struggling, but you could see it in him, man. Like, turns and has a chrach and it goes just wide. He has goals in him. De Gea played a big role in keeping it at 3-1. Because he got 5 saves. I think it could have been more than 3. But a lot more to see from Fiorentina, because I have been really disappointed with them, and that is 2 points in 3 games. They need to wake up.
They have a new coach. They need to adapt the system as well.
And the third coach in 3 years, right?
Exactly. It's never easy. Yes, absolutely. By the way, speaking of Moise Kean, have you heard about the record that Moise Kean has set? He's going to become, Moise Kean, the first ever player to feature in a FIFA video game as a footballer and as an artist. His song has been selected.
No way!
Yes.
Really?
So while playing FIFA, one of the 100 and whatever songs that play the indie songs. One of them is Moise Keane's.
Hey,
That's cool, no?
good. Next
That's
up,
pretty cool.
Leao. Let's see Leao get
Yeah.
there.
How's that song go? How's it?
I don't even know, bro. I don't listen to his music because I want to see the work on the pitch.
That boomer instinct to hate their side projects.
I love it. I love it, bro. Just like I don't mean it. Just like let me have it.
Yeah.
Like, well, you're spending all your time in the studio, bro.
It's better to spend his free time in
When
the
Charles
studio.
Leclerc crashes, it's all
Yeah.
about
You know where Robinho spent
modeling.
his free time?
All right, on to the next.
Roma 0, Torino 1.
You know he's gonna come back as a manager now, Robinho? Because
Yeah.
apparently he's been coaching
You're
the prison team.
You're serious?
I bet you he'll come out
No,
and go
no,
straight
no.
into management.
Maybe in Brazil.
Pinch of salt.
I don't know. Yeah. Roma, yes, they lost to Torino, and this is the headline that I like. Roma failed to score on 22 shots for the first time since 2022. Yes, and on the 5th of February, 2022, they played against Genoa, and they had a total of 23 shots without scoring. So this pretty much sums up the game for Roma. They had so many attempts, but it just wasn't their day, and they just weren't sharp enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. This game was decided by Giovanni Simeone, aka Cholito's sensational curler, in the 59th minute, and that's his first Serie A goal in over a year. Now for Roma, Bailey was missing. Sounds like a dog. Bailey, where are you? Bailey. Sava and Shores were missing for Torino.
Shores.
Shores. So for Roma, Gasperini decided to go with something a little bit different. He went for Sule and Dybala together up front, which is kind of similar to what he used to do at Atalanta with Lookman and De Ketelare, for example, right? He tried it out over here, the atypical attack. So Svilar was in goal with Hermoso, Mancini and Indica in a 3-4-1-2 formation. Wesley, Kone, Cristante and Angelino were in midfield with El Ainawi playing behind Sule and Dybala. As for Torino, it was Israel in goal, with Ismaili making his debut, partnering Maripan and Coco at the back, with Biragi on the left, Lazaro on the right, Aslani and Cassidy playing in the middle, with Vlasic and Cyril Ngonge flanking Simeone.
Or Cholito.
Or Cholito, yes. So, this was an experiment by Gasperini, and it's safe to say that it failed, and Roma didn't create much in the first half. Torino hit on the counter in the second half, and Simeone created a chance and finished it, skinning Kone in the process, and then bamboozling Cristante and curling home from a neat return pass from Ngonge. Svilar kept Roma in the game with some great saves on Abuklal and particularly on Vlasic. What a save,
Yeah, man.
such a strong arm. And then there were late chances for Pizzilli, Sule and El Shaarawy that went begging as Torino held for a victory. Yes, this was another game of fine margins, because some brilliant saves kept both teams alive. Maripan, for example, had a lovely sliding tackle that denied Dybala a clear chance. And many players actually did attempt to score, but I think Torino were just too tight for them, too strong, and Roma seemed to struggle to move the ball around. They seemed to take their sweet time moving the ball around.
It felt to me Torino off the ball were very organized, very systematic in that sense, and I think simply with the way that Roma set up with Dybala and Sule up front, it was hard to penetrate such an organized team. With no target man, it tends to be the case. You need someone that, especially with the defense of Ismaili, Maripan, Coco, you need someone a little bit more physical in there.
Yeah.
And at least if it's not a physical target man like Dovbyk, who didn't feature, for example.
That's interesting.
Like Evan Ferguson, who came on at halftime for El Ainawi. I don't know, man. Sule and Dybala together? Question mark. Should it ever be the case? Should it ever happen? Dybala on the left isn't the same as Dybala on a free roll or in a right, and Sule, you can't drop him. What happens?
I think Dybala shouldn't be starting, full stop. I think Dybala at this point in his career is a 30-minute player, and when you have him on for those 30 minutes, you have a great player, one of the
You
best
think
on
that's
the
it?
pitch.
You think he's a 30-minute player now, Dybala?
Literally. I mean, he injures himself every time he plays. I mean, you know, he injured himself taking a free kick this game. You know,
That's
he had
sad,
to be
that's
subbed
sad.
out. It's sad. He's not the oldest, but clearly his body isn't capable of playing 90 minutes. You know what I mean? Some people have that. And I mean, he can still rack up the numbers. He can still play a significant key role for this team. You look at Luis Muriel at Atalanta. He was their top scorer.
Yeah.
And he was featuring for 20 minutes, 15 minutes a game with Gasperini. I think you can utilize him in that way. In fact, in the second half, he did bring on Ferguson Gasperini to acknowledge the fact that his experiment failed. Dovbyk didn't feature, and he had this to say about Dovbyk. He said, I asked Dovbyk what his best qualities are, and he replied, inside the box, strength and depth. That's fine, we'll start from there. Then he said, Dovbyk, I never intended to bring him on today. I want to see him active in training, dynamic and confident. When it's the case, we'll bring him back. So clearly he doesn't like what he's seen from.
This is the
from
Gasperini treatment, right?
Uh-huh.
This is what we said. Like, people can really get behind Gasperini and he can create a real united squad. But if you're on his bad books, you're finished. Papu Gomez. The people actually wonder: is it going to be Papu Gomez that walks out, or is it going to be Gasperini? Gasperini kicked Papu Gomez. I don't give a fuck. You're our best player by a landslide at the time. Don't care. Out. You don't fuck with me. And unfortunately, his latest victim is Dovbyk.
Yes.
Which is, I think, a shame. I get the whole thing about confidence. I don't think Gasperini is helping him by giving him that tough love, speaking to the press, saying he's not ready, saying it's not his intention to play him and whatever. I don't think he's doing him any favors, and he's only going to elongate how long he won't be using him for. I think he really could have used a player like him in this game.
Absolutely. Ferguson, in fact, had a bit of a mixed bag of a performance. But yes, if you had to look at what Roma didn't do well at all, it was mostly about just the basics, man. Just passing and decision making. They off the ball, they moved well, but they just couldn't get the ball to the right players. They failed to exploit wide areas. They lost many 1v1s. The substitutions added intent, but didn't add any creativity whatsoever. And they were dominant in possession, but almost sterile in attack, disorganized, you know. While Torino were compact, defensive, and had that moment of brilliance that actually gave them the victory, a reward for being able to absorb for the entire game without actually conceding. Good save by Israel as well on Soule's volley and catching El Shaarawy's volley at the end as well. That was pretty.
I
cool,
like
that
Israel.
That volley
man.
was really good by El Shaarawy. But yes, Israel's really nice.
He's a very good goalkeeper.
Some stats. So Soule drew 3 fouls, played 4 key passes, won all his duels, and had 90% pass accuracy.
But
Great
that pass accuracy, unfortunately, didn't have a striker at the end of it. Dybala.
Exactly. Hermoso played well. Statistically, he led all the defenders for defensive actions with 7, and he had 90% pass accuracy as well. While Mancini had a really bad day at the office, to be honest, where he only won 33% of his duels, and your centre back has to win way more than 33% of his duels. Cristante was 1 step behind, and most of his passes were inaccurate. And normally those deep passes, the laser beams, are one of the best part of Cristante's game, right? His ability to ping it. He lacked that this game, and he was passenger on Simeone's goal. He was too soft. Simeone just took it around him too easily.
Yeah, I do want to highlight Roma's midfield as, at least in the Mercato, I had said this before, I felt like it was a bit of a failure. They brought in El Ainaoui, sure, but this is another season where I speak to many Roma fans, and Roma fans are frustrated that it's another season with Brian Cristante in midfield. That's not what what the fans wanted. I see his pros. I see how he could be physical with good passing, etc., etc. But we also know that he has tendencies of not losing concentration, but of
he has limitations. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. He has limitations, and him with Kone next to him, sure, El Ainawi had a decent game. He had 100% pass accuracy, only 20 touches really, but I think he only played a half. I think Roma's mercato in the midfield department was a failure because it's where they struggled last season. They only brought in one player, and try find another midfielder, like a central midfielder that was worth bringing on over here.
I mean, Pizzilli was the one they went for, right?
It's them two and
Yeah,
Pizzilli.
yeah,
Them
yeah.
two and Pizzilli. That's not.
Baldanzi was brought on this game. He plays in the pocket, of course, but he's physically, man, he's someone
I don't
who
think
needs
he's
to.
good enough, Baldanzi.
It's not even a matter of, because quality-wise, he's definitely very good. Like, he's one of the most promising talents, I think, when it comes to his technique, his pure technique. But it's his size. He's so small, man. You can easily face him out of a game. You can nudge him off the ball easily. He needs to grow a bit. Like Rich, you know?
Like Ricci. No, I don't know. Baldanzi at Roma hasn't done it for
not
me
at
yet,
all,
man.
right? Not at all.
Yet.
It's true. Yes, I think that it was an unlucky game for sure by Roma, but a very street-smart game for Torino, who remained compact, who deployed the perfect counter-attacking team with Lazaro and Biraghi driving on the wings, Aslani marshalling the defense with Casadei playing more of a box-to-box role, and then Ngonj and Vlasic flanking Simeone. That's a good, decent counter-attack.
Yeah.
And Roma made, in reality, one bad mistake at the back, and they scored off it. So, funnily enough, this was a super mature display by Torino. Can't say the same against Inter.
Because they gave up possession. Have the possession. Have the possession. We're going to be organized. We're going to be structured. You don't have a target man to play it to. You can't break us down in that sense. In fact, Roma had how much percent possession? 73% ball possession. They had 590 passes. Just pass, horizontal passes around. Just like, we're going to get you. And Torino just cool, calm and composed.
An interesting point that Gasperini made as well is that keeping up this pace and rhythm, we all know the way Gasperini likes to play, right? Very direct, very fast, very intense football. He said in these temperatures, it's not easy to maintain a high tempo, and it's true. But maybe they should take that into consideration. I don't know, because you can check the weather, bro, before the game. You know what I mean? You know that Torino are going to sit back. Maybe they're going to have a bit more energy on the counter because they're out of possession. Now, the saying goes that you suffer out of possession, right? Because you're constantly chasing the ball.
Exactly.
But in reality, in a low block and in these conditions and the way Gasperini wants to play, I think in possession they might suffer a little bit more. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one.
Very good. We'll jump to Atalanta, their first win of the season, man. A 4-1 commanding victory over Lecce. They had 2 draws previously, of course, against Pisa and Parma, both with the score of 1-1 and both against teams whose names start with a P. Make of that what you will. And Lecce had a draw versus Genoa and a loss versus Milan. For Atalanta, Ederson and Scamacca were injured. They started in a 3-4-2-1 formation, Carnesecchi in goal, backline of Scalvini, Hien and Kosunu. Zalewski on the left, Bellanova on the right, midfield 2 of Pasalic and Derone. Sulemana and the Ketelare flanking Nikola Krstovic. For Lecce, 4-3-3 formation, Falcone in goal, backline of Kwasi, Gaspar, Siebert and Gallo, midfield 3 of Koulibaly, Ramadani and Salah, with a front 3 of Tete Morente, Ricardo Sotil and Stulic. So the scoring was opened in the 37th minute. It was a Zalewski corner and Scalvini rose highest and powered in the header. Really, really happy to see Scalvini back in the team and back scoring goals as a ball-playing and advanced centre-back. In the 51st minute, so Atalanta headed into half-time with a 1-0 lead. In the 51st minute, there was lovely build-up play by Atalanta. Krstovic laid it off. De Ketelare drilled it home from inside the box with his weaker right foot to make it 2-0. It was almost 3-0 in the 53rd, just 2 minutes later, as Zalewski smashed a free kick off the underside of the bar. Shortly after, Pasalic's header was saved by Falcone. In the 70th minute, CDK tried a pass through to Zalewski, who cut inside and wrong-footed Falcone with a low finish at the near post to make it 3-0. In the 73rd, Siebert's mistake was punished as De Ketelare stole the ball off him, rounded Falcone and slotted it home to make it 4, just as Lecce completely lost control. However, in the 82nd minute, substitute Indri rifled in a rocket from the edge of the box, scoring Lecce's first goal of the season, and shortly after, nearly doing it again. But it was a superb stop by the goalkeeper to deny Indri a second goal. And then Krstovic had a goal that was ruled out for an offside in the build-up. 2 assists for Krstovic in this game. Might go under the radar because De Ketelare scored 2. Zalewski had a goal and an assist, but solid stuff by their new striker.
And doing things that we're really not used to seeing him do, right? I can't recall a single assist he got for Lecce.
Hey, I can't remember a single pass.
Exactly. It's the ball and shoots,
Lecce.
no matter where he is. Lecce's defense really struggled, and this was a debut for Siebert. They brought him in from Dusseldorf for 4.5 million euros, and he just struggled, man. I don't think he won a single duel, to be honest with you, and he had an error leading to a goal. It was a bit of a shit show for him, and even Gallo didn't have his best game ever. Funnily enough, apart from of course Gaspar, who tends to win his duels, Owen Kwasi wasn't too bad, right?
No, Kwasi had. I mean, he got cooked by Zalewski for most of the game, but it wasn't that terrible showing by Kwasi. I think Siebert and Gallo were particularly poor.
Absolutely.
Even Gaspar wasn't great in that sense. But I think before Scalvini's opener, Lecce, they weren't exactly passengers. Like, they were in the game, and Sotil and Morente both had some efforts from distance. They were compact. They kept the ball on the ground. They looked somewhat confident. And then it was 1-0 with Scalvini's header from, Atalanta scored from a set piece.
Yeah.
They went into the second half just with a marginal 1-0 lead. And then, 51st minute, instantly De Ketelare scores. In the 53rd, they hit the post. Then 70, 73, all goals. So in a short amount of time, Atalanta really turned it up, and they destroyed Lecce just in that short time.
Yeah. Do you think this is more telling of... Okay, so if you had this, which would you say? Atalanta were great, or Lecce are terrible?
I think Lecce are terrible, and I think Atalanta needed this. I think Atalanta are a good team with good players. We said this is a make or break game for Juric and for the team as well. I think it's Lecce allowed them to show us what they should have been showing us for those 2 games.
Yeah.
So they're off the mark. De Ketelare now has 2 goals. Zalewski looked amazing, bro. He looked amazing. He looked so good. Cutting Zalewski inside, beating his man. Not the left wing back that we saw at Inter, not the left wing back that we saw at Roma. Completely different player. CDK amazing. Krstovic amazing. Scalvini is back, and now they have some momentum. And they have a midweek Champions League match against PSG. So
so that will be quite telling.
It will come crumbling down very soon as well. But Atalanta, literally, this is all you have to say about Atalanta. They needed this badly, and they got it.
Yes, and I think it's almost like the start to their season was so disappointing with Parma and Pisa, of course, both ending in a draw. That a bit of a smashing was necessary, even for the players, for the fans, for Juric as well. But now it's PSG, Torino, then Juve. So back-to-back visits to Turin, because they're both away.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Might as well just get a hotel
stay there,
like.
spend the week, see the sights.
Lecce look bad, bro.
Lecce look really bad. I'm worried about them because I love the club, but I think they're the worst team that I've seen so far this season for sure.
Will it be another season where a club just sticks by Di Francesco until the last day? Like, it can't keep it. I mean, it's only 3 games in, and I believe they have a draw and 2 losses now. They're on exactly. 1 point. Like, it can't go on like this.
The next, actually,
yes, a draw against Genoa and a loss against Milan.
Lecce's next game is against Cagliari at home, so that will tell us a lot.
Yeah.
Because against Genoa, granted, I mean, they didn't do much, but they didn't lose.
Mhm.
You know, and sometimes that's enough, and then you get 3 wins randomly.
Yeah,
and
then you
survive.
get Milan and Atalanta. They're two
Yeah.
tough games, right?
Exactly. So we'll see. Lecce against Cagliari, that will give us a better idea. But they look totally uninspired right now. They look like they got Stulic to play up front, and they brought in Camarda, but they can't feed them at all.
No.
The midfield is not great.
No. So,
Uh-huh.
I mean, Sotil and Tete Morente aren't
Terrible.
not talented players.
Yeah.
They're good players for a Lecce side, and I think they will help the team throughout the season. But
They're okay to drive, to
Siebert,
transition, but yeah.
Salah, I'm not sure about this team and how well they're gonna do, unfortunately. That's 1 point from 3. And they just scored their first goal of the season, and I feel like that's going to be the struggle for them this season, because they lost Krstovic. Krstovic scored 50% of their goals last year. There was like
More.
a statistic.
I think
probably
more, bro. Yeah.
more than 50%, because he was one of the top scorers, and they were one of the lowest scoring sides.
Yeah.
And I don't know, bringing in Camarda, who is 17 years old, and Stulic, who no one heard of before this. And he looks like that weird guy on Netflix.
Who's it? Tim Robinson.
Tim Robinson. I don't
Yeah.
know. To be fair, I don't want to judge them too much on an away game against Atalanta. And
Bro,
a loss
you never
against
watched
Milan.
Sporting Charleroi before?
Sports was what?
From Belgium.
No.
Come on, bro. Never.
I thought he was a rapper.
No.
Charleroi.
Charleroi.
Kid Leroy. But that's it really for this game. I want to stress again, I really like the look of Zalewski, man.
Yeah.
I really liked him.
Yeah, no, he was super. He was definitely he wasn't the standout, because De Ketelaere will steal the show, like you said, but
He's up there.
Zalewski
was
was
he
awesome.
was a menace on the left side. What is it with Atalanta and their wing backs, man?
I have no idea. And
Zalewski.
then they signed Quadrado randomly. But yeah, Stulic last season had 16 goals and 2 assists in the Pro League in the Belgian. No, the Pro League. Where is this? I guess this would be Belgium.
Potentially.
I think so. I'll
Alright.
double check that. Yeah,
No worries. I'll go to the next game. I'll figure that out.
it is Belgium. It is Belgium.
Amazing.
All right. The next game is Sassuolo 1, Lazio 0. While prepping, I had a glass of Roman tears and I was just drinking it. Yeah. So, of course, it's Sassuolo at home, so all you could hear are the Lazio fans. And Sassuolo claimed their first points of the season.
Way.
The missing players for Lazio were Gigot, Patrick, and Lazzari, while Sassuolo were missing Schielerup. Skia!
Sassuolo are missing Skia.
For Sassuolo, it was Muric in goal, who was once again favoured over Turati. It was a 4-3-3 formation with Josh Doig and Valukovic as the fullbacks, Jay Itzes and Muharemovic as the centre-backs. Vranks played in the middle alongside Matic and Kone, while Berardi and Lauriente flanked Pinamonti. For Lazio, it was Provedel in goal in also a 4-3-3 formation with Marusic and Tavares on the flanks, Romagnoli and Hila at the back with Guendouzi, Delebashiru and Rovella as the midfielders, with Zaccagni and Cancelleri flanking Castellanos. Now, this game was decided by Fadera in the 70th minute, who basically scored with his hip bone.
He humped the ball
He
in.
humped the ball into the back of the net after Muharemovic's knockdown. Earlier, just 24 minutes into the match, that's what I'm going to start doing, like an M. Night Shyamalan, how do you say it? M. Night, Nick, you'd know. M. Night Shyamalan movie, where I start in the 70th minute and then go back to the 24th.
Okay, let's try it. Let's try
Is
it.
that earlier in the 24th minute, Vranks got a red card for a high tackle on Rovella. But this went to VAR and it was actually downgraded to a yellow. But can you imagine being victim to such a heinous psychological attack, bro? Where the referee comes up to you, wrongfully gives you a red card. It's this wasn't his debut, but was it his debut?
No, it wasn't.
No,
his
no,
debut.
it wasn't. And just that feeling in that moment, then it goes to VAR and you realize, oh shit, I'm still playing. Is it relief? Is it fear? How do you feel?
It's complete psychological warfare by the referee. It's like you thought you were gonna have a normal game. No, you're sent off. What? Oh my god!
No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, you're not. It's like, okay, now he's scared to enter tackles. By the way, if that was a red card,
Yeah.
game's gone now.
Yeah.
Like he
Never a
stepped
red
on
card.
him, bro. Come on.
Yeah. Like the studs weren't up, they weren't showing.
Exactly, he stepped on him.
Exactly. Muric produced a stunning save to
Ooh.
deny Zaccagni. It was one of those, again, drop down, stretch.
One of those Peter Shilton
Yeah,
saves,
yeah.
bro.
Great save. Strong arm again. And the Lazio pushed late, but Gila missed 2 headers, and Sassuolo defended actually pretty well. So I'll start off by saying that Sassuolo didn't exactly outplay Lazio. Lazio dominated possession, similarly to Roma, but unsimilarly to Roma, as they didn't create anything. They barely shot, right? Castellanias was isolated. Cancelleri showed his limitations. Zaccagni drifts in and out of the game. Delabashiru and Guendouzi just aren't stepping up. You know, Guendouzi has publicly said that he wants to score more goals. Then do it. Start shooting. Start showing yourself. You know, it was Tavares who was the most dangerous this game. And it feels like, seriously, at this point, like if Tati Castellanios doesn't perform, Lazio don't score. And that's the situation. I think
Pretty much.
going forward, Isaacson is their only hope.
Because Isaacson is very direct,
and he's just back from injury, so it's gonna feel like a new signing for them, right?
And Cancelleri's not it,
He's alright, but he shouldn't be starting for Lazio yet, you know. In his development, this isn't meant to be the next stage, you know. He was doing alright, he was on an upward trajectory, but this is too big a step, I think.
Yeah.
And
of
where's
course.
Noslin?
Not unused substitute.
Unused completely.
Substitute.
I don't know, I think he might need to use him, man. How poorly is he performing in training? How bad is his condition if he can't even
I
get a
haven't
sniff?
seen him in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what his condition is like or anything like that. But I believe on the right side they opted to bring in Pedro. To be fair, he's got a last minute goal in him, Pedro. And obviously Isaacson came on as well. Oh my god.
Bless you.
Thank you. I was gonna say something and then I had an aneurysm. Yes, the fact that Rovella got injured in the 41st minute.
Yes, that is massive.
And I believe he was he had just before that gotten a yellow card, and he was involved in quite a scrap, man, with a few Sassuolo players. So he was heated.
Yeah.
He was really into the game, and then he went off injured. Which
his
is a
competitive
huge
spirit
loss.
is different to his teammates, huh?
Yes.
Rovella, he stands out. And Sarri has since said that his and Tati's injuries don't seem serious, and that he expects them to be back for Roma, or he hopes to have them back for Roma. We'll see, because without Rovella, this team would be terrible. We saw Belayan coming on for Delabashiru, and for the first few minutes when he was on, you could say, like, okay, he's more comfortable with the ball at his feet, he's shiftier, he's more confident with it. But then again, he just disappeared. You know, he faded into nothingness as they continued to play the ball from side to side, slowly waiting for an opening. But again, Sassuolo just marshaled them well. So maybe they're still capable of surprising big teams.
I was about to say Robin Hood are back. That's we shouldn't be too surprised about this. The only surprise that they did this in the Mappe, because they tend to enjoy an away game as well, because this feels like an away game for them as well, to be fair. No, but I'm pleased with that. I thought Josh Doig had a much better performance.
He was good.
Because he was genuinely awful in the last 2 games, in my opinion, and he really improved, and I'm a fan of Josh Doig, so it's good to see. Berardi, Lauriante, need them to get going a little bit, show us what that dynamic... What those dynamic wingers from back in the day in Serie A used to do. I want to see them at 100%, because I don't think we've seen that yet.
And no, we haven't. Absolutely not. And I have a note here. I say this every single season, every few weeks. Pinamonti is so bloody selfish, man.
He is selfish.
Kone could have put them ahead had he squared it, Pinamonti, but he only has eyes for a goal every time he gets the ball. And I guess that's a quality that coaches appreciate in a striker, but... That's infuriating. And when you have a player wide open and you just shoot instead, my God, it boils my blood.
Yeah. In fact, I want to see how many passes would he have in a game, man. That's what I'm interested in right now. So he lost possession 6 times. How many passes? Well, he had 1 key pass. Accurate. He had 8 passes, 4 successful.
He passes about 4 times. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Successfully. Yeah. So Sarri was interviewed, and he opened it up with this banger of a line. Sorry about last night. Sometimes you have family situations that need to be resolved that are more important than press conferences. Then he said, we haven't watched the match yet. We trained this morning. The thoughts we have are still those from the pitch. Today, we're rewatching the game. Something could change, but the entire staff has clear ideas. He says that yesterday in midfield, we played a lot of balls backwards instead of vertically. Even though looking at the match data, we played twice as many vertical passes as our opponents. When these mechanisms are automatic and without thinking, then we can play faster. We need to attack the spaces more. Yesterday we didn't do that much, but against Hellas Verona, we definitely did. Defensively and tactically, we played well. Sassuolo is a good team that'll have a good season. Their attacking trident is among the strongest in the league in terms of resourcefulness. We didn't do enough to win. Now, I think this is interesting because he's saying essentially they need to adapt to my style. They need they need lateral passes to come naturally to them because right now they don't, and they're playing a lot of passes backwards. That's killing their own momentum.
Yeah. In fact, with with Baroni, they're all about building the ball up from the back. But they were an offensive team. They weren't an incredibly direct team. They were offensive. They played high press and whatever.
They were quite direct out with Baroni, much more than this.
It's true, actually. Yeah. But it's growing pains for Lazio, right? They had an awkward encounter over here, didn't come off for them against a side like Sassuolo, of course, newly promoted. I don't love that he said it's one of the best tridents in the league. They're a newly promoted side, nonetheless. Like it's a game you should be winning. It's not an excuse that their front three is really good. You have Zaccagni and Tati Castellanos in your team, and on the bench Bulayedia, but poor performance from Lazio. I think I wouldn't go so far as to say Sassuolo had full control of the game or whatever, but Lazio didn't threaten. They didn't threaten. In fact, their XG is like 0.7 something.
Yeah, 0.76. They had one big chance of Zaccagni, a massive save by Muric, but that's it. That's it.
Zaccagni was looking at Muric when he pulled off that save, like he was really milking it. Like, look how good the keeper is. It wasn't my fault, man.
Exactly. Exactly. He needs to step up a bit more as Zaccagni, I feel, at this point in his career.
Yeah, he needs to. He's the captain. He needs to lead by example. You know. Is he the captain? Yes, he is the captain.
So Jade says played this game. You're a doppelganger.
I thought you were gonna say Jade says played today. The first Indonesian to ever play in Serie A. It is now controversial.
Being Indonesian, yes, because of Aldero's newly found identity.
Yes.
I love going through the YouTube comments for every game that Jade says plays, and I screenshot.
No, you screenshot.
I screenshot a few comments because just the first. I literally took a screenshot of the first 2 times I scrolled. Jay starter and play 90 minutes. Clean sheet and win. Perfecto. Love from Indonesia. Forza Sassuolo. Love Indonesia. I'm a Milanisti, but now I'm following Jay Itz's progress. I hope he continue to develop and in the future can join AC Milan. Love Indonesia. Magnificent Sassuolo. Magnificent Jay Itz's. Indonesia. Flags like everywhere. Jay Itz's only heart. Thank God Jay Itz's team and friends finally won 3 points.
Team and friends.
We from Indonesia thank Sassuolo for their interest in using Jay Itz's services. May his talents continue to develop in Sassuolo. Amen. These are insane, dude. That you could scroll through for hours.
Bro, they've got a
funny.
Huge country behind them.
They should be proud. He's bloody good, man.
He's amazing. He's so amazing.
He's so good.
You know who else is good, bro?
Muharremovic.
Audero.
I'll tell you.
Audero
had a crazy
game. Audero, man. Yeah. Crazy. But yes, I'm very happy for Jay. It says Muharemovic, not too bad either. Huh?
Not
of course,
too shabby. He
it
got player of the match.
It spikes his rating a bit that he got the assist at the end, but Muharemovic, very good performance.
Yes, and nice to see Fadera scoring, a player that we really highlighted, joining Sassuolo, a player that that showed good things at Como before eventually. I think that's what the gesture was about, by the way, Como, right? Probably. Like him not being seen as a starter for Como.
Probably, because he got benched hard.
Yes, he did.
He got benched hard.
It's true. He faded into oblivion, So that's it. Yeah. It was interesting to see, by the way, actually it's not it, that coming into the game, there were some stats here. Where are they? Lazio, in their build-up efficiency, they have 86.5 passes completed. It's the fifth best in the league, actually, when it comes to their build-up. And Rovella stands out with 3 key passes, top 3 in Serie A, while they had 4 goals against Verona with 4 different goal scorers. And, of course, that kind of shows, right, that there isn't one man just racking these things up for Lazio. There isn't the man, of course, who can be a reference point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought I had better stats. I apologize.
That's fine, bro. They're lit stats.
Shit, bro.
Let's jump to Hellas Cremonese, a game that we were all incredibly pumped for. Monday, 6:30. You've got a team that has been narrowly avoiding relegation against a team that has come back up from Serie B. And they beat Milan and Sassuolo, right?
Yes, and you've got the winners of the goal of the month in Bonazzoli and the coach of the month in Nicola.
Amazing. Hellas, on the other hand, they were coming off a draw to Udinese and a devastating loss against Lazio, exactly. For Hellas, it was a 3-1-4-2 formation with Montepò in goal, backline of Freze, Nelson and Nunez. Gagliardini was the regista. Bradaric on the left, Belgali on the right, midfield 2 of Bernade and Serdar, with Orban and Giovanni up front. Jovan.
He's good, that Jovan.
He is, bro.
He's bloody good.
He is. 3-5-2 for Davide Nicolas, men with Audero in goal. Love Indonesia. Back 3 of Terracciano, Baschirotto and Bianchetti, Zerbin on the right, Pezzella on the left, midfield 3 of Colo-Colo, Bondo and Van de Putte, with Bonazzoli and Sanabria up front and Jamie Vardy on the bench. Now, this game, to be honest, was all Hellas Verona. Not what we expected, but was all Hellas Verona, who managed to get 20 shots away, 9 on target, 9 saved by the incredible Audero. The Indonesians, man, have been incredible this season in Serie A.
They have, and in the YouTube comment section as well, as I've just opened up. Verona Cremonese.
Go for it.
Bravo, Emil Audero, the Indonesian-Italian goalie, is our hero and we adore you. Serie A, Emil Audero, ciao. Audero's save was amazing. Hopefully he can bring Indonesia to the World Cup. Greetings from Malaysia.
Hey.
Whoa. Amazing, Audero. Proud of you, Indonesia. Forza Cremonese. Yeah, that's go on. Yeah, you get the point.
Yep. He had an incredible double save. At a point, bro. That was really nice. He like celebrated it, and you could see the ball boy behind the post celebrating it as well.
How big he makes himself out there.
Huge. Giovanni, Orban, Bernade, Serdar, Belgali and Bradaric, so much energy, so much movement, so much link up between them. They were the ones creating everything. Particularly, man, Giovanni is one nifty little player that could beat a man, and if he has a space to have a shot, he'll take the shot.
Yes.
He doesn't hesitate. Orban, on the other hand, he's a bit clunkier but a little bit stronger. He doesn't shy away from a 50-50. He loves getting stuck in. Just the way that they were building up play together, it's a much more exciting Hellas Verona than the ones we've seen in the past few seasons, because these players seem dynamic and they seem like attacking at the end of the day, like an offensive team. Of course, under Zanetti, they're going to be an offensive team, but these guys, I was impressed by their energy, man.
Absolutely. And Jovan, just historically to paint a picture, he played in Brazil, right, with Corinthians, I believe, and he's only scored 3 goals over there.
Okay.
For Corinthians,
Okay.
so he isn't much of a goal scorer. And to be honest, it's quite clear because
He's
he does everything really well until he gets in front of the keeper. And
He's
then
certainly not
yeah.
a finisher. And
Exactly.
unfortunately, none of the guys that they have are finishers.
But at 21 years old, he can totally improve that that aspect of his game. But yes, I totally agree with you, bro, in the fact that Hellas Verona look lively. And if you recall last season, under the same manager, Zanetti, they started off the season in a similar way with high intensity. But this time, from what I'm noticing, the players are of a much higher quality, man. Nunez at the back is an established player, and you can really see it in his game. He's tidy, man. They brought in Gagliardini. Granted, I think he dislocated his shoulder.
I should have mentioned opening 30 minutes. I have it here. Gagliardini went off injured in 30-something minutes due to a painful shoulder injury. He looked fucked, man.
I think he dislocated it. I think, that shouldn't be too bad technically. But yes, Nelson looks good. Freze also got injured, and Freze, I worry about Freze because last season he barely played. And he was a new signing for them, and he's quite exciting as a player, you know. I mean, he's Danish, 27 years old, quite an experienced player. He can make a big difference for Hellas Verona, but he barely featured last year. Let me tell you exactly how many games he played. He started 5 games, and he was brought in to be a starter. So hopefully it's nothing serious.
I hope he'll be okay. Because this Verona team I'm quite excited about, which isn't usual. Bernade Serdar in midfield, very, very good. I'm a fan. We'll see obviously in games to come if they manage to keep that up. We all know Serdar is a good player. Bernade, I liked him. Cremonese stayed in the game and they managed to create a few chances in the second half. They even brought on Vardy to try push for that win. He was making some runs in behind Vardy. He had a flick at one point that didn't really worry Montepò too much. He handled it pretty well.
8
and that
touches,
was,
I believe.
Around about that. Again, the game was mainly Verona, but Audero was definitely the man of the match. They had 4 clear chances, all stopped by him. And just 9 saves in a single match. You do not pull off. Now, okay, he had the double save. He had another great save after that as well. Some shots, perhaps, they could have been a bit more convincing and a bit less central. But as a goalkeeper, you have to deal with those. How many times do we see goalkeepers either they go the wrong way because the ball took a bubble or all of these factors, or they spill the ball and they get the rebound? Super clean performance by him. On the flip side, Verona, not on the flip side, on literally the same side, Verona, the wastefulness was bizarre. The amount of chances that they created and amounted to nothing, and I'm not saying clear-cut chances, but decent goal-scoring opportunities, they have to start putting those away. Because in a game against a newly promoted side, albeit a very impressive Cremonese, to create all those chances and not be able to get the victory, that's worrying.
Yeah. I also found it is worrying. I agree. Even though they did look better, but what I will argue though is that this looks like a good foundation to build on. What did surprise me was the cautious approach that Cremonese took. They really respected Hellas Verona, and they looked at the table probably. They said, "Listen, we've got 6 points. They're gonna come here to kill us. Let's just make sure we don't lose this. We might end up in a situation this season where we're going, where they're head to head against us has cost us 6 point difference. You know what I mean? So they approached the game very cautiously. In fact, Cremonese, this game didn't create anything.
Towards the end, maybe the last 10 minutes.
But they totally surrendered to them, and they're like, listen, we've already got 2 victories against all odds. We don't need to win this one. Let's just not lose it.
Yeah, and on the other hand, Verona are still winless.
Yeah.
So they didn't give them an opportunity, I don't know,
To climb.
They were attacking and they catch them on the counter or something like that. So good performance, I guess, by Cremonese. If that was their plan, then sure.
Away to a direct rival and they didn't lose. I guess that's massive considering what they've done already.
But I won't keep you guys too much with this game. Hellas Verona 0, Cremonese 0.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
1 second. Yes, I wanted to mention as well, bro. There's this guy on the bench. He came on for Hellas Verona, who has a very noteworthy name. Armen Bella Ketchup.
Armin Bella Ketchup.
Armel Bella Ketchup. Ketchup?
Bella Ketchup. Bro.
Armel Bella Ketchup.
Amel li Bella Ketchup.
Tell him, make me a cup of ketchup, please.
Maltese will say Amel li Bella te. Make me a cup of tea. Bella is like a cup of.
Yeah.
So this
It's
is
like a swallow of.
Amel li Bella Ketchup. So
Armel Bella Ketchup. That's hilarious. Como 1, Genoa 1.
Yes, sir.
Only the street smart performances I covered this game, this match day, because I had Milan's extremely street smart victory over Bologna to not concede anything, right? Torino's game against Roma, where they literally took advantage of one mistake.
It's true, huh?
Sassuolo's shutout to Lazio, and once again they took advantage of one situation, a set piece, and didn't concede much.
Situations.
Now, Como against Genoa was a game which saw Como, to be honest, the more dangerous team during this game. Let's present this properly. They were missing Dossena, Diao, and Van der Bremt, while Genoa were missing Jean Onana, whose introduction on Instagram and on social media was Onana, what's my name? The classic, very funny. Como had Boutez in goal, Boutet, with Voivoda, Ramon, Kempf, and Valle at the back, Dacunia and Kakaret starting as a double pivot. Nice to see Kakaret starting again. He was super. Kun started on the right, Rodriguez on the left, with Nico Paz starting behind Morata.
Success in my review.
For Genoa, it was Leali in goal, with Martin and Sabelli as the fullbacks, and Ostigard and Vasquez as the centre-backs. Mazzini and Frendrup formed a double pivot, with Norton Coffey on the right, Ellertson on the left, and Malinovsky playing in the hole behind Colombo. So Como dominated Genoa and led through Nico Paz's incredible 25-yard strike after he spun like a ballerina and just launched it from range after just removing 2 defenders. It doesn't matter, throw 2 men at him, throw 3 men at him. He'll twirl and spin. And
throw 3 women at him, man, while you're at it. What the hell?
Fuck it, man.
Fucking deserves to party, man.
He does. Sarah thought he was cute when she saw him. I'm like, he's 21.
Key finds Yildiz cute, and he's 20.
Oh, God, bro, we're getting old, huh?
We are getting old.
So they were punished later, of course, Genoa, for going down to 10 men. So it was Ramon who got a red card. I was a little bit confused at first because he has Jacopo written on the back of his shirt.
Yeah.
But at the end of the game, yes, he was sent off, and immediately Genoa attacked them. You know how those of you who have played Football Manager, the second your opposition goes a man down, Football Manager gives you a notification. They got a red card. They want to increase your intensity, and usually hit
Absolutely.
smack yes. Vieira just smacked that yes button, increase intensity, and they started attacking. And Carboni, man, chopped and deleted a man and played the ball to Messias, who had got the man sent off, by the way, who found Norton Coffey, who powered through everyone, shot the ball, and I believe it was saved, and it ricocheted. No, it was cleared off the line.
Through the keeper's legs.
Yeah.
Through Suzuki's legs.
It was going...
Arian Suzuki.
Yeah, exactly. Through Boutet's legs.
Legs.
It was going in. One of the Como players slid to clear it. It clattered off the post and into the path of Ekuban, who converted.
Exactly.
And the celebrations were so wholesome. You could tell that was that Genoa's first goal?
I mixed it up with Felici's goal.
Yes, it's similar, bro. It's quite similar. Yes, I believe that this was Genoa's first goal. Let me confirm that.
Was it Genoa's first goal this season?
I think...
Yes,
it was. It was their first goal, and they celebrated so wholesomely. Everyone just pounding the air with the away fans. It was a nice moment. But yeah,
it's a good result.
It is
away to Como,
and they could have extended the lead because they had a similar attack again through Norton Coffey.
They could have taken the lead.
They could have taken the lead. Sorry, they had an attack again through Norton Coffey. They crossed the ball to Vasquez, whose header was a little bit too. It was way too central.
Yeah.
In fact, the keeper caught it. But yeah, quite a few missed chances for Como that they'll be kicking themselves for, especially Kun, Voivoda and Morata. Morata's was a bit of a reflex one. because it was a save by the keeper, and it spilled into his path, and he slid fully extended and failed to get it into the back of the net. But yeah, what a game! What a game!
Man, can I just
It
say?
was Sergio Roberto, by the way, who cleared it off the line.
Okay.
Because I just go off
Como started really strong with that Nico Paz goal. A bit disappointed that they didn't manage to kill the game off or look a bit more convincing, because that literally in 5 minutes they completely lost control. Genoa, of course, aren't an easy side to play against. I feel like Genoa's substitutions, that and the red card, obviously that strengthened them, the red card, but Messias, Carboni and Ekuban are particularly really nice players to bring on. Messias for build-up, he's excellent.
He forced the red, and shortly before that, he was fouled as well, because he's a real handful, Messias.
He is, man.
And I'm surprised he continued playing, because the way his head smacked the floor right in front of Fabregas, man, I was surprised they let him continue that, because that he must have been concussed.
He definitely wasn't 100%. But can I just tell you, man, Valentin Carboni, just looking at him and looking at the way he plays, there's something in him. He could be a phenomenon in the future, in my opinion. He has...
How old is he now, Carboni?
He has that something, man. Like on FIFA, when you click on him, it'll tell you has that something
that
special.
Something, yeah. He's 20 years old,
He's
Carboni.
20.
Yes,
He's
still,
20.
Still young, racking up experience and really having flashes of brilliance.
Yeah,
That
on loan
shot
from
was
Inter,
lovely.
right, Carboni?
Yeah, exactly.
Valentin.
Interesting.
Phenomenal.
Might argue that they could use him. Huh?
Bro, I think this guy is going to be really, really good. Kind of like a Sergei Milinkovic-Savic kind of mold / Ilicic, you know, those tall, strong players with great technique. He gave a pass with the outside of his foot at a point.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
this, okay. Like that's all I need. Like 6'2", pass with the outside of the foot. Bro, I'm going to call you Ilicic from now on. Yeah, okay, you tackle as well. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic.
Yeah, he's awesome, eh? Argentinian, idolizes Messi. You can see it a bit in his play as well. Obviously not take that with a pinch of fucking salt.
Or don't.
Or don't do what the fuck you want. Hashtag Dove Stanchu.
Oh, it's
He
true.
wasn't
Where the
utilized
hell-
this
where
game,
the heck?
Stanchu. And I
Unused
wonder,
sub.
I wonder if that was a tactical decision or if it was a fitness issue. It wasn't disclosed, or I didn't read it.
Well,
But
when they're internationals, you know,
Yeah, fair.
like he's Romanian. Did he play for Romania on the break? Probably, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, and
He
he had to
did.
travel to Cyprus.
Nice holiday. I thought that, yes, again, very street smart by Genoa. Very much enjoyed that. Yeah, we can move on.
Very good. We'll move on to my last game, which is Cagliari 2, Parma 0. Pisacane versus Cuesta, the newbies against each other.
The babies.
39-year-old versus 29-year-old. Cagliari had a draw and a loss so far this season. The draw came against Fiorentina and the loss against Napoli. Parma had a loss against Juve and a draw against Atalanta. Pisaccane's men lined up in a 4-3-2-1 formation, as Ancelotti liked to call it, the Christmas tree formation, which is really, really sweet, Ancelotti. Caprile
You
in
could have
goal.
called it the butt plug, you know?
Yes,
I mean,
Totally could have. I know some managers would call it a butt plug. Pep would call it something weird, huh?
the dagger.
The dagger. The dildo. Caprile in goal. Backline of Ober, Luperto, Mina and Zappa. Midfield trio of Folorunsho, Prati, Adopo and Sebastian Esposito and Gaetano played behind Belotti. For Cuesta's men, it was a 3-5-2 formation. Suzuki in goal, backline of Del Prato, Circati and Ndai. Lovic was on the right, Valerio on the left. Midfield trio of Ordonez, Bernabe and Sorensen, with Pellegrino and Cutrone starting up front together. In the 8th minute, Caprile had a double save, and I just noticed that I made a mistake earlier on.
What was it?
The double save was Caprile. I said that Audero made the double save. Scratch that. It wasn't Audero that made the double save. The double save was by Caprile.
Of course, take nothing away from Audero's performance.
Yes, still a quality performance.
Because he did have some splendid saves.
Yeah. But Caprile had an incredible double save. It was Pellegrino that robbed the ball off of Mina. He fired, Caprile saved, then saved the rebound of Cotrone with his leg. He extended his leg. Beautiful double save, and that's where you could see the ball boy celebrating. In the 33rd minute, and then Cagliari opened the scoring. Mina, who made that mistake earlier on, actually scored and opened the scoring. From a corner, Obe crossed the ball to Belotti. His header was forced a weak Suzuki save, and Mina pounced on the rebound to nod it in. Not sure how much better Suzuki could have done. He had some players in front of him, but he failed to handle quite a simple strike, and Mina was there before he could collect the ball and just heads it in. In the 66th minute, Parma had their biggest chance. It was Almqvist's cross that found Oristano free in the middle, but his volley smashed off the bar. And then in the 70th minute, Cagliari made it 2-0. It was on the counter. Adopo's angle drive hit Suzuki, went through Suzuki's legs, hit his leg, hit the post, and then Felici was there to tap the ball in. He did well because the angle was quite tight and Suzuki had remade his ground. 84th minute, Cotrone had a goal disallowed. He found the net late, but play was pulled back for a foul by Pellegrino in the build-up. Caprile, man of the match. This is why I got confused. Two guys that look relatively similar in Caprile and Audero. Maybe. But two very dominant goalkeeping performances in those two games that I just covered. But Caprile, match winner as well, with that double save, smart positioning, strong reflexes. Without him, simply Parma would have taken the lead incredibly early.
It's true. And the fact that they managed to not allow them to essentially dominate the game, right? Eventually. Yeremina has such an advantage, man, when he's playing like this. You know, he scored in the international break as well for Colombia. He's so dominant in the air, and he's so difficult to deal with for strikers and for defenders. Now, I think it's only fair that since we exposed his behind a few
nothing. Luka
days ago,
exposed his behind.
We'll show you the best side of Yeremina. His really cool celebration.
Yes.
I've sent it to Nick. It should be on the screen behind me very soon. What do you think this is? Hey, what goes through someone's mind when they celebrate like this?
I mean,
because there are two types of people, right? There are three. There are the people who let go and celebrate passionately, the Inzaghis of this world. There are the cold ones, the Palmers, the Leaos. And then there are these guys who just lose their minds.
Yeah, I mean, you remember, it was a penalty shootout. He hadn't played yet for Fiorentina, Mina. Or he had played once and it was a poor performance. He had gotten sent off or something. Steps up, scores the penalty during a penalty shootout, and he busts out like the samba. It's a penalty shootout, bro. Like, is he incapable of a quick fist pump? I love it personally, because when you are the tough shithouse and then you're that annoying shithouse that dances at the same time, I would hate to play against him.
I would hate to play.
He would trigger me so hard, bro. I'd end up punching the floor. I'd break a finger punching the floor. It'd bug me so much. I'd lose my mind, honestly.
He danced so hard. I'm surprised he didn't pull his neck.
Hey.
But he
but he's used to it. He's Colombian. I have to say, From watching this game, I thought Parma off the ball. I thought they had Cagliari pinned back. Cagliari pinned back, and I thought that for the most part of it, especially in the first half, I thought that Parma were the better side, because they didn't have much possession, but Cagliari couldn't do anything because of them, and then they had a few chances themselves. The difference, I feel, was the physicality in this game, because in those tight situations where Parma were pressing so relentlessly, so two things. In those situations where Parma were pressing so relentlessly, Cagliari had to play the ball to someone that could hold the ball up. Now, Folorunshaw isn't perfect, but he's fucking strong.
Yes.
And in midfield, when you have all those people pressing you, he can nudge them off the ball, and he could play a safe pass to Prati, for example. And they did very well over there. And then you could see, and I pointed it out to you when watching this game, you could see the moment Cagliari figured out Parma's press. Because they evaded the press by playing the ball round, and then they played one vertical pass, and we're like, okay, Cagliari can unlock this press. And they unlocked that press. They got the goal in the 33rd minute from a corner, which Cagliari have a tendency of doing that because they do have the likes of Luperto and Jeremina. And then they've got players like Esposito and Gaetano that can whoop the ball, and even Prati can do so, I think. And then they managed to get the goal in the 70th minute, but other than that, it was Parma attempting to get back into the game. It was Parma pressing, Parma taking the ball forward. And Caprile had a great game. I think I saw signs in this game, finally, of how Cuesta wants his Parma side to play. We saw glimpses of it in this game.
In fact, they put Prati under a lot of pressure early on, and I said to you at one point, Prati's having a bit of a
nightmare,
but he eventually grew into it, and he handled it well. But the high press was quite a lot for Cagliari to handle. Fortunately for Cagliari, apart from having a great keeper, the Parma strikers were not on form, especially Cutrone. Cutrone was so wasteful, man, and you know, you'd expect at this point him to score one of those chances at least. They were quite good, the chances that he missed.
He scored offside, which was unfortunate for him.
But that rebound when Caprile got the... He does, no, that's absolutely correct. But the rebound that Caprile saved, it was a little
should have done
sensual,
better.
wasn't
Should
it?
have done better.
Yeah.
Should have. It's a rebound at the end of the day. You should be scoring that, no problem. But take nothing away, obviously, from Caprile.
Yeah.
But Cagliari showed that they're a seasoned Serie A team, and they've got players with Serie A experience, right? I mean, Adopo, I'm always really impressed by. I think Adopo is a really, really good, tidy, strong midfielder.
Yeah.
Really good and calm with the ball at his feet. Folorunsho was a mess. I'm going to be honest, man. Folorunsho was a mess.
Yeah,
He's a total catastrophe.
To be fair, even in this game, Folorunsho and Adopo, when it came to actual ground duels, they lost most of them. Aerial, it's a different story because they've got their size. But these guys, like, look at this. Folorunsho lost 6. He won 6 out of 12 ground duels
50%.
and lost 3 aerial duels out of 3. While Adopo, on the other hand, had ground duels won 2 out of 8, and then he won the aerial ones 2 out of 2. So the press was really fucking with them, these guys especially.
It's the way that Cagliari managed to handle that press, man, and how they managed to get a 2-0 victory. They kept a clean sheet against that press, which is a super impressive, and I have been impressed by Cagliari this season. Pisacanes Cagliari. That draw against Fiorentina, the loss against Napoli with the last minute Anguissa header from a set piece. Parma, on the other hand, of course, so far they've played Juve and Atalanta, and they lost to Juve and they drew to Atalanta. But now they lost to Cagliari. I said early that I foresee Parma really battling relegation, if not getting relegated. In my predictions, I have them as relegated. And this is kind of the reason why. Because when your direct rivals are teams like Cagliari, teams like Hellas Verona, teams like Lecce, who have these seasoned managers, these seasoned players that know the league. Parma are a new team in Serie A. They've only been there 1 full season with 2 managers. And they brought in a manager with ideas. Mr. Thinker, man. Hopefully, I mean, this is a similar start to, for example, the initial start Monza had when they had just gotten up to Serie A, and they ended up coming 11th or 10th. So it could be just growing pains. They looked good on the press, but to lose 2-0.
I wonder how much time they'll give him once again. You know, it's the same old story. Like, let's say Parma go 7 winless. You know,
they might pull the trigger quite early. But do you honestly get a 29-year-old assistant manager from Arsenal,
and you don't even give him
7 games?
Exactly.
But if they're winless in 7, alarm bells.
Yeah.
But Cagliari again, I'm impressed by.
I'm
I
very
don't have
impressed by them
much
as well,
more
because
to add.
It seems like they've got this spirit about them and this mentality about them, the sense of belief. You know, the stadium, their stadium's amazing. Their
bro,
fans are behind them. The manager, he almost gives the impression that he's been there for ages with the relationship he has with the players, and he has been around for ages because he used to play with them. He's captain them. He's a bit of a hero.
Absolutely.
Pisa Cane. Yes.
A bit on Belotti's debut. He didn't score, but he was involved in the opener. He worked hard up top. Good platform to build on. He was substituted due to injury.
Yes.
And they do have some options instead of him if they really need. Like Sebastiano can start up front, for example.
Exactly. Yes. Or maybe the young Semih Kılıçsoy.
Yes, Kılıçsoy. And they have another forward. No, I'm not tweaking. Another number 9.
Borelli.
Borelli,
Young Borelli.
6 foot fucking 9 Borelli.
194 centimeters.
He's huge.
Yes.
Huge.
Yeah, he's huge.
Huge.
Like Pep said, what does Donnarumma give you? He is so tall.
He's so tall. He's so tall.
He's so huge.
He's so
huge.
He's so big. Yeah. He always does that shit like, I can't. I wonder how he refers to his dog, bro.
Yeah.
Hey! Final game.
Pisa 0, Udinese 1. Roll the music.
We made money off this as well.
We did make money off this.
Betting, gambling, and porn.
Guys, that was Matty Fenech.
And
Not
drugs.
Jake. So betting can really, yes, it can improve spectacle.
Your life.
However, the way Matt and I do betting, we put €20 in at the start of the season, and that is all we can play for the entirety of the season. All right?
€255.
You're making €2 bets, €2.50, €5 if you're feeling crazy. Eventually, you can, you'll make a bit if you're any good. If you lose the money, don't touch it till next season. You know, that's how to bet in a healthy way, guys.
And if you get carried away because you won 2 bets in a row on one day, or you won 1 bet so you go harder on the next one, you then put in €30 instead of 15, and you lose them, don't you dare bet again that day. Don't you dare. Put your phone down, put it away, and I don't know, jerk off. Sure, man.
You were doing so well, bro.
Yeah.
Udinese remain unbeaten, of course, as they've drawn to Hellas and they've beaten Inter. This game was a bit of a shit show, to say the least. There were big misses from Meister, from Davis, from Ezibue, massive mistakes from Sole and Sava. Pisa centre-back Caracciolo trying a bicycle kick. It was great, to be honest. It was very entertaining. Regarding the lineups, of course, we had Lovric, Padelli and Bayo all missing for Udinese, while Pisa were full strength. And
you wouldn't guess, man.
Their full strength involves Semper in goal, with Lusuardi, Caracciolo and Cannestrelli at the back. My new favourite player, Toure on the right, Angori on the left, and Abusher and Akin Sanmiro in the middle.
Akin San Siro.
With Morio, Tramoni and Meister up front. For Udinese, it was Sava in goal with Sole, Christensen and Bertola at the back. Zibue on the right, Kamara on the left, Atta, Karlstrom and Piotrowski in the middle, with Bravo and Davis up front.
Idrissa Torres, your new favourite player.
Yes, bro, he's fucking cool. He's fun to watch. 6'2" dribbler, powerful.
Beast.
Does a step over when he's got 5
I remember covering him in the Serie B episode.
He's good fun, man.
Mm.
I even took him on Fanta. Do you believe it? And I'm going to use him. I don't think he's going to be on my bench all season.
Okay.
So the victory was sealed by Bravo's 14th minute strike after Atta's run broke through the defence. Pisa nearly capitalised on early errors from Sava and Sole. It's quite a big miss from Meister, granted from an awkward angle. And they squandered big chances through Meister, of course, and Morio. Davis hit the side netting twice for Udinese. One of them was a particularly bad miss after Iker Bravo had just scored. And then you see Bravo showing some nice sportsmanship despite that they're often competing for the same position. He went immediately up to him and consoled him for the miss. Zaniolo made his debut off the bench. Pisa pushed in the second half with efforts, of course, from Tramoni and that bicycle kick from Caracciolo, but Christensen's brave block and Udinese's just overall solid defending prevented them from getting back into this game. Pisa are also a team that look a little bit limited. They give you the impression that they're going to grow into the season and that they're going to get more comfortable playing, but I feel like, I don't know, Gilardino's Monza gave me that feeling as well, you know what I mean?
Gilardino's Monza, Gilardino's Genoa.
Genoa, sorry, yes,
Uh-huh.
Gilardino's Genoa.
Yes, it's just not it's not an incredible group of players, and I'm sorry to keep on saying this. I like how they're set up. They're an awkward team to play against at most, but creatively.
As they had big chances at this game, but they were mostly because of opposition error than things they actually created. So yes, your point stands actually. I mean, Udinese once again got the job done. We're sensing a bit of a different vibe with Udinese. I know it's still early, of course, and they have often started seasons well, but it does seem that Runjaic is a good manager, man, and he can adapt to the opponent and set up accordingly. And I think they've got a good foundation, this Udinese side. The question is, what's their objective?
If they improve off of last season, which I believe they had a 12th or 11th place finish, then it's huge for them. They could break back into the top 10, which is no easy task.
I guess that would be the objective, but it's so tough.
It's probably remain in the 10 to 12 area, right?
Yeah.
And do it a bit more sustainably. I think it's a project under Runjaic, but they are a very tough team to play against. They're as we always say, they're organized, they're physical, and they hit you on the break. And they have very strong wings, with Azibwe and Kamara. And Davis with his physicality in the midfield. Iker Bravo impressed me in this game. I know easy to say because he got the goal, but he looked good throughout, to be honest. Good movement from him. And I mean, how was Zaniolo when he came on?
I mean, Zaniolo came on and just ran a lot. You know, you know what I mean. He didn't really offer anything.
61st minute, and they were 1-0 ahead there.
In fact, to be honest with you, you barely noticed him once he came on. To give you a bit of a statistical answer, let's pull it up. So we've got Pisa, Udinese lineups. Here he is. So he lost 5 out of 5 ground duels, lost possession 7 times, was fouled once, tried 2 crosses and failed them both, attempted 5 passes and managed 4 of them, and he touched the ball 14 times. So
but he was active.
He was active. he was. Okay, come on.
But a weak start.
Yes, not a strong, a bit of a trademark start. No, at this point.
Yeah, literally.
So what he's become, Zaniolo. Oh, and I feel like I need to stress this to listeners who don't remember Zaniolo at Roma when he first broke out. Just look up his goal against Sassuolo, guys. He had the entire defensive line and the goalkeeper on the floor, and he
begging him,
the keeper.
stop, Zaniolo.
Yeah.
And he just mocked them with that
exactly.
with that
no
finish.
Consent, nothing. It was fucking crazy.
Literally, severe lack of consent there.
That's it, bro.
Some more thoughts on Pisa, like as in
I mean, Pisa need to.
There's no bite, eh?
No,
they don't have that edge. They're solid.
You know,
as in they have structure, but there's no cutting edge to them, and there's no instinct.
I think better times will come for Pisa because, for example, Stengs came on in the 86th minute, and Stengs is quite a good player, Calvin Stengs. In fact, he previously he had quite a good season at Feyenoord in last season, literally. The season before, he got 8 goals and 16 assists for Feyenoord. That's
pretty
sick.
good.
And he came on in this game, and apart from one wayward cross, he was solid, huh? Stings.
Okay.
But he only had 5 minutes. That's a bizarre thing. So I think maybe his condition wasn't good. But with him as he grows into it, with Tramoni maybe when he gets used to this level.
I hope Tramoni picks it up, man.
Toure, who's showing to be quite decent.
We've seen Nzala do it before.
Yes.
I know he's on the bench or whatever, but we've seen him do it.
One of the defenders didn't put a foot wrong as well.
Was it Colo Colo?
I can't. No, maybe it wasn't this game. But there was basically Pisa had a statistically perfect defender when it came to passing. I'm not sure if it was this game. Might have been the game before. Because I saw it on Instagram. Caracciolo.
Colo, Caracciolo. Fuck me, man. These
Gabagool.
newly promoted teams. Gabagool. Goglio Cheesy.
Goglio cheesy.
Shout out to Udinese, who are one of the few unbeaten teams also. They make up a list of... So they are alongside Napoli, Juve, Cremonese and Udinese. Those are... And Atalanta. Those are the undefeated teams so far this season. Shout out.
Shout out, represent. Alright, it's time for our segment, huh?
Wisdom with the wank.
We should change the name at this rate to Wisdom with the Boner, because it's all about Victor Bonyface once again. Okay, so Bonyface posted on Facebook, and I don't have it. Do you have it, Nick?
It's on Instagram.
It's on Instagram. Nice. Okay, you have it. Can you read it out, maybe? I can't. Can you airdrop it to me? Actually,
It's on our chat.
I don't have access to it here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, boy.
It's not downloaded. Hold on.
No problem. Dead air. What's it called? The enemy of the radio. Dead air traditionally, but in reality, man, dead air has become a big factor in podcasting and in comedy, where people use it actually to make themselves funnier. You let the joke sit. You let it sit there.
Except for us, it's because we're unprepared.
For us, it's because we're unprepared. Exactly.
Amazing. Jake just accepted an airdrop.
I accepted an airdrop and it disappeared. Where did it go, man? God. We might have to. Yeah. Okay, there it is. Thank you very much, bro. So here it is on Instagram. Yes. Victor Bonyface said, "Life is like a shoe. You cannot drink a cow because the earth is carrot. Think about it." And I did think about it. Did you think about it?
Read it again.
Life is like a shoe. You cannot drink a cow because the earth is carrot. Think about it.
Cannot drink life is like a shoe. Because you can't drink cow. And earth is a carrot.
Yeah.
I think.
But why do they say that I'm unserious?
Me no serious. Me he they them.
This is a bizarre one, and I just it's come to the point now where I think he's completely leaned into it, right? He's almost mocking the people that think he's unserious by being unserious.
You cannot drink a cow because
the earth is carrot.
The earth is carrot. You cannot drink a cow. Look, sometimes things don't make sense in life. No?
Yes, many times.
Sometimes it seems like nothing is making sense. What path am I on? What does this mean? Nothing.
I think the reason Bonyface failed his medical for Milan, the physical part, he nailed it probably. Then they tested his cognitive strengths and his cognitive ability, and he might have failed there.
I think
life is like a shoe. You cannot drink a cow because the earth is carrot, bro.
Yeah, I don't think it's cognitive. I think they fucking did some kind of scan on him and found a serious amount of acid in his brain, man. Like just from tripping balls.
Yeah, no, this is. I actually love this shit. Just mocking the haters.
Yeah, and also that's like what we used to post as Facebook statuses when we're 13. So
exactly,
never too late to hop on a good trend, Victor.
Absolutely.
Very good. I think that's that. This must be a 4-hour episode.
It's 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Jesus
Happy
Christ.
birthday to you.
From Serie Spotlight. Huh?
Yeah.
Imagine like one person listening, it's his birthday.
I fucking hope it's your birthday. If you're listening and it's your birthday, become a patron. $3.99 a month. Thank you all. We'll catch you next week. We're going to go watch Juve. Rush, because it's in 20 minutes.
Oh, yes.
Love you all. Ciao, ciao.
If you like Serie A or have ever liked it in the past, it's a good opportunity for you to listen once a week and you'll get filled in.
The football weekend, that's like the main dish. But then a few days later, you drop your episode and that's like the dessert. And the dessert is just perfect.
It's good, the cake.
It makes it feel like we're all sitting in a room together, just BSing with each other.
The atmosphere is fantastic.
I promise nobody will ask you to send boob pics.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
I love how you go into so much detail and show so much passion towards each and every team. Literally, no team is left undiscussed.
When I listen to you, it's like I'm talking to you in a pub. It's like I'm chatting to a friend and you're chatting to me.